Welcome back to the CoolFigurez channel. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. The information on this channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. And welcome to episode 48 of Coffee and Toys. And as you guys can see, we have a full desk this week. Thank you so much to my friends over at Diamond Select. We will get into all of this. But of course, we're also going to talk Coffee and Toys live, this week's toy haul, this week's toy news, and so much more. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel is all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunting them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. If that's your sort of thing, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and hit that bell notification icon so you stay notified when I do upload new content. If you do enjoy this video or any other videos that I put out, please remember to give them a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. With all of that out of the way, guys, once again, welcome to episode 48 of Coffee and Toys. Before we get into it, guys, I do want to remind you guys that at episode 50, I am going to be doing a giveaway. So please let me know down in the comments below, what do you want for the giveaway? A DC Multiverse, Black Series, NECA Ultimate. Let me know down in the comments below because it's fast approaching. 2 more episodes and the giveaway will be here. So with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and talk about this week's Coffee and Toys Live. So this week's show saw the return of the first ever guest on Coffee and Toys Live, Jason B. Michael. So it was great to catch up with him and see what he's been up to. And he actually had just posted a new Pink Skulls shot that day or the day before. So I was super excited to talk to him about it. We went in depth about that. We went in depth about everything Pink Skulls. We talked about the new set, the old set, which one he prefers out of the two. So definitely stay tuned to the end of this episode to see the interview and see which set he prefers. But we also talked Mezco reveals that we saw in-hand figures at Comic-Con. We talked those and also the lovely, ever so lovable Instagram algorithm. So if you want to see that conversation, stay tuned to the end of this episode because Coffee and Toys Live is always at the end of the podcast. So with that being said, next week we will be talking to Figure Fan Nate, another phenomenal toy photographer over on Instagram. And the week after that, we will be talking to another great toy photographer, More Shots. However, the difference being More Shots focuses more on Halo style pics. So all of his photos are mainly like Halo pics and stuff like that, but they're really well done, really well edited, and really well, like, just the angles that he picks for his shots are phenomenal. So super excited to talk to him. 8:31, we'll see the return of another former Coffee and Toys Live guest, Diamond Select's marketing manager, Zach O, which I do want to say a huge thank you to for sending over some amazing product for me to shoot and review for all of you guys. Following him on 9/7, we will be talking to Aloha Toy Photography, another toy photographer based on the Hawaiian Islands. Super excited to talk to him as well. And that's pretty much it in terms of guests that I do have officially lined up. I am in talks with other guests currently right now, kind of finalizing dates and times with them. So once those are confirmed and everything, I will add them to the list. But speaking about Zach Oath and Diamond Select, I want to give him a huge shout out for sending over some product for me to shoot and review for you guys. Like I said, he went ahead and sent over some Lord of the Rings figures, some Marvel Select figures, and even their Crow figure. So super excited to do my reviews on these guys. I've already done most of the picks for these guys, and they are great. I love all the great, extra beam accessories and power-up accessories that they tend to give you with your Marvel Select figures, especially with the lights that I have. You just aim them right at there, they light up, it looks phenomenal. Now, these Lord of the Rings figures are awesome as well. These orcs and stuff are just phenomenal figures to use, not only in your Lord of the Rings display, but against other, figures and characters that you have. If you're into Mythic Legions, these guys would probably fit perfectly in that display. But yeah, I remember having a Gandalf the Grey toy when I was younger. I remember it very vividly. It was one of my favorite toys. I would always carry him around. I honestly don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he's at, but I'm super happy to finally have another Gandalf in my collection. So once again, thank you so much to Zach Oath and Diamond Select for sending over some product, which we will take a closer look at when we get to this week's toy haul. Well, I guess we should probably just go right on into that because that's next up on my list. So, yeah, like I said, they did send over a few different flavors to test out and try. Like I said, they sent over some Lord of the Rings, some Marvel Select, and the Crow. I'm not going to pull them all up and stuff because, well, there's quite a few of them. So, once again, thank you so much, Diamond Select. So I'm just going to pull up a handful of them which really stand out to me. Starting off with this Human Torch Marvel Select figure. I mean, look at the base it comes with. And it's essentially a stand too for the figure. You know, it plugs into his back and it gives you this fire effect. It rotates at the bottom. It moves up and down. It's just really cool for what you pay. You know, you get this giant base and awesome figure, so that's cool. The Iron Man is also cool with his fucking chest arc reactor flying out. And also this Titanium Man. Zach Oat definitely knows my love for giant figures and my love for green, because this combines the two of them, so it's super awesome. Absolutely love that thing, and I actually have a few toy photography shots in mind for it or with it, so those should actually be coming out pretty soon. I absolutely love this Smeagol right here. This Golem figure is phenomenal. It comes with this rock base, it comes with a bunch of hands and accessories and faces, but I absolutely love this one where he's basically just admiring the ring like, my precious. Fucking love that. Like I said, these orcs are phenomenal for army building or fighting other figures in your collection. And of course, like I said, Gandalf the Grey. This guy is really good. He has so much great sculpting and detailing on him. It's just, it's amazing. It really reminds me of my old figure, but also in a sense kind of improves on it because it has so much more great detailing and sculpting in the robes and everything. So super cool. So part of this line is a Build-A-Figure wave. So I did get Sauron's head, torso, and weapon, which is really fucking cool. And now I just have to track down the other figures to complete Sauron, because he's just a head and torso at this moment, and he looks phenomenal right here. So I can only imagine what he'll look like when he's actually completed. I think he actually does stand about this tall over all the figures. Man, now I just need the other Build-A-Figure pieces. Alright guys, so moving on to my own personal toy haul from this past week. So last weekend I was out of town, kind of, sort of, just not really too far out of town. Just didn't feel like driving at like 4 in the morning to, you know, Irvine and stuff from where I live. So I was staying out there, so I got to visit some Targets out there, and I was able to find Boxing Batman on clearance, also the Superwoman Starro Build-A-Figure, and of course Owlman. Now these three are going to be the unboxings for the next 3 weeks, starting off with Owlman, then Superwoman, and then Boxing Batman. Real quick story about Boxing Batman. He was not in the system, and apparently that means it's salvaged, but I found out that if you go to the self-checkout line and you ring it up and it just says, you know, someone's on their way, as soon as they walk up, you just say, you know, last time I was here a few days ago, this was on clearance, I just didn't want to pick it up at the time, but I decided I wanted to, so I came back today. And she literally asked me, well, what did you see it ring up as? And I was like, $5 or something like that. And she literally put $4.30, like something like that, and yeah, gave it to me for $5. So yeah, super awesome to have finally gotten this guy too, right before he was going to be not available, and my boxing reeler would have been well, Boxing Batman list. But now I have the two, and well, now I have to spend some more money to find a boxing ring or a wrestling ring to have them box in and have the villains and Robin in the background cheering them on. Yeah, that's my idea so far. So now I just gotta find a ring. So yeah, so that was that on that guy. There's not too much to say about these two. I just happened to found them in stores, thankfully. I found Owlman first, and I was really curious to see if she was anywhere in stock, so I quickly jumped onto the Target app, and it happened to say that she was at the store that was like literally 5 minutes away. So I headed on over there and picked her up quickly, and yeah, we have unboxings for the next 3 weeks, guys. So yeah, guys, that's basically been this week's toy haul. Once again, I want to give a great big thank you to Diamond Select and Zach Oat for sending over some amazing products for me to shoot and review. Like I said, I'm almost done shooting them all. Next up is just doing the reviews. I like to shoot the figures first before I do reviews if I get the chance, because you know, when you're shooting them, you're messing around with them, messing with the articulation, finding new things, seeing what they can and can't do. And so that's why I like to approach my reviews by taking photos first and then the review. And it doesn't always happen, I'll admit, but I try to make it that way when I can. And I just realized his hand is flipped upside down. So yeah, once again, shout out and thank you so much to Zacho and Diamond Select for sending over some great product. Real quick, an announcement I do want to make about the channel, because recently I do want to talk about actually two separate comments. I guess they kind of tie in a sense now that I think about it. So the first one being this one right here, where this person's asking me, please don't cuss. I was trying to watch this with my son and we were enjoying it. And I trust me, I understand. I try not to cuss as much as I normally do in my normal everyday life. Like when I'm in my everyday life, I cuss. I use fuck as a pronoun, a noun, a verb, a subject, any kind of which form of the English language you can think of. That's the word fuck for me. Like I can work it in and I can literally probably say a full sentence with just the word fuck and it would make sense. Let me just put it that way. So unfortunately, I do put a disclaimer at every video since I started this channel that this channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. While it may be, enjoyed by a few younger audience members, especially with family members and stuff, that's at the discretion of the parents. And I do understand that if that is a sticking point and you cannot watch me because of that, that is, that's fine. I totally understand. But I'm sorry, this is my personal channel that I work very, very hard at. And I do allow myself a few F-bombs and a few things when I feel like I want to say them. Trust me, if I wanted to and if I could, I'd be saying what the fuck this, fuck, it literally just be fuck, guys. But I try to limit myself. I try to keep it as clean as possible, unless I get frustrated, unless it's like really what the actual fuck, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I've put a literal disclaimer at every video since I literally started, because I remember watching a reviewer saying that you need to put that there for toys, because if not, YouTube's going to mark you down if they hear you cuss and stuff like that, because it's about toy stuff. So you have to put that disclaimer. So since literally day one, if you go back to my first ever video, I'm saying, this video is intended for adult collectors and not children, because I did my research, I did my homework before I started. So while the majority of my videos are not fully like cussing and this and that, it is intended for adult collectors, so we do get adult subjects and stuff like that. Much like on Coffee and Toys Live a few weeks ago, we got a little spicy and stuff, so but I do want to apologize if that kind of caught you off guard. I don't ever mean for that to happen, which is why I put that disclaimer at the start of my videos. Like it's literally, I believe, like the second or third thing that I do say. I put it even at the start of this podcast. I mean, you guys heard it at the start, unless you skipped the start. You guys didn't skip the start, right? You wouldn't have done that, right? You wouldn't have skipped the start. You would have watched it all the way through to this point, right? Leave me a like if you have. But anyways, so yeah, that's that one. But the other one I do want to talk about, which, like I said, it does kind of connect to this, but at the same time, like I said, discretion of the parents, which isn't a bad thing. Like I said, I try to keep it clean, and I only drop them occasionally, and I'll be honest, when they slip and I don't really realize it. But this other comment really got me, and in a good way, guys. And this person was telling me how much they enjoy my content, how they watch Coffee and Toys and, discuss toys with their family and have it playing in the background, and they watch it and enjoy it. So thank you so much, man. It's comments like these that really keep me going, especially when I'm editing this podcast, when some of these episodes are super long and it feels like they're never ending. It's comments like that that really do keep me going and, make me finish the work and push me and, get me through it, so thank you so much for that comment. I really do appreciate it. So with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and talk about this week's toy news? Although much like last week, there is not much to talk about. Like I said, guys, it's going to be a few more weeks until toy companies probably feel comfortable, showing new product, until they've finally gotten, some of that product they've shown off into our hands, which it seems like it's going to be happening sooner rather than later. A lot of the products that were, advertised as coming out next year are starting to hit Target shelves now, are starting to be shipped out now. So I'm sure in a few weeks time, once they've probably thrown out a few of these figures, we'll be getting some more news, especially as they get ready for the holidays, guys. Can you fucking believe it? All I see on my timeline right now is just oh, summer's over. Here comes October. Here comes Halloween. Here comes Halloween. Don't get me wrong. Halloween's fucking great. I love Halloween. It's phenomenal. I love horror movies and stuff like that. But I'm more of a summer person. I know this is going to sound weird and like how, but I love the summer heat. I absolutely despise the fucking cold, guys. It's just, I don't know. I hate shivering. I hate having to put on so many layers to stay warm. I'm somebody that gets cold very quickly and very easily. Anything under 60 degrees, and I'm like, fuck, where's my jacket at? Because I am not meant for that. It could be 110. I'm like, let's roll the windows down and drive with the windows down. It's comfortable. That's just the type of person I am. But I also work hard for my physique, so I prefer the months where I get to wear short shorts and tank tops and show off my muscles, opposed to the ones where I have to wear thick ass pants and a sweatshirt and a jacket and cover everything up. Granted, I do look a lot thicker and bigger, but I like the way I look right now in terms of like being able to show off and stuff. I'll admit it's a little egotistic and vain of me, but also like I said, I just hate being cold, guys. But getting back to my whole thing about summer almost being over and them getting ready for the holidays, I just went off on a complete tangent without even realizing it. It's crazy to think summer's already fucking over. We have See, I'm catching myself now. Now that I told you guys about my habit, my habitual bad habit, I feel like this episode, in the span of like 5 minutes, has more F bombs than any episode I've ever done. I feel like it also has something to do with me internally. Like, I don't like being told what to do. Especially when it's my choice, like on my channel, and so it's just like subconsciously I'm like, say another F bomb, say another F bomb. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that as spite for the commenter that commented that. It's just how my mind works subconsciously. I don't like being told what to do, and I do try very hard to keep from dropping as many F bombs as I do. And as you see, it's very easy how quickly I can drop them. But yeah, so like I said, they'll be picking up. I believe in the next 3 weeks we'll be seeing another flood of pre-orders and reveals and all that stuff as September starts coming closer to the middle. Maybe towards the end of September, October, November, December. It's literally the last 3 months, so they're going to be ramping up that marketing. Man, like I said, this year has, I don't know about you guys, but this year has felt long yet short, yet long at times yet short. Like last month flew by, but then the month before that was kind of long but kind of short. I feel like August is going to fly by because I keep thinking it's already September. Probably because I have something planned then that I'm really excited for, but still got a month till that. But still, it's crazy to think we're already in August. We're already going to be somewhat transitioning into a new year, sooner rather than later. We're closer to that than not. But yeah, like I said, in the next 3-4 weeks, I anticipate us to have a lot more toy news than what we have today, because we have quite a bit of news from Marvel Legends, but it's kind of stuff that we've already known about / seen, but now we're really seeing. Whereas the other stuff is kind of new, something we've heard about. And why don't I just shut up and tell you what it is? So, starting off with McFarlane Toys news, guys. Last week they hinted and teased that they are going to be dipping their feet back into the Arkham series. This time, Arkham City. So, we are going to be getting a brand new Arkham City Batman. Now, I really hope that they improve the plastic on this one. That has been one of my biggest gripes with McFarlane Toys, besides the whole no gun thing, which kind of isn't their fault, is their fault, blah, blah, blah. I won't get into that tangent right now, but my biggest concern, or my biggest thing with McFarlane Toys, is the quality of their plastic varies drastically from figure to figure. I remember picking up that first Batman and knowing why I didn't want to pick it up, but at that time it was like, the newest Batman figure, the most articulated. I look at the ones that came out previously, you're not going to be able to get this guy into any kind of poses. And being this fresh back into collecting, I didn't know about Mafex and Mezcos and all this other stuff. So I went ahead and picked up the Arkham, technically it's the Arkham Asylum one. And the plastic literally reminded me of Batman figures I had bought from a swap meet when I was a kid. These were not officially licensed Batman figures, obviously. But that's the quality I felt And so that really was like, that's why it kind of took me some time to really get rolling into the McFarlane Toys area. But even still now, this deep in the line, I still find that some figures are hit and miss with the plastic. Some of them are very dense, very sturdy Hasbro feeling plastic, while others are very swap meet knockoff feeling plastic, and just really hoping that this new Batman Arkham City version is more of like the Hasbro quality. Unfortunately, Todd did remove the double jointed elbows, and I know I'm giving you more work future editing, Jesse, by pointing this out so far after already announcing the figure, but yeah, I have to point this out because I saw this and I noticed this while I was looking at the figure, but he only has single jointed elbows, so Todd's taking away articulation, so don't believe that whole 22 points of articulation on the box anymore. Can't wait. If it says 22 points of articulation and he takes away, isn't that technically false advertising? Can we technically sue Todd for false advertising? Does it say 22 points? It does. So these ones say 22 points of articulation. So when we pull Owlman out today, we are going to count. Does Owlman have double hinge elbows? I cannot even see from this angle. So when we pull Owlman out, we will take a closer look at that, obviously. So, yeah. So not only are we going to be getting Batman, but we are also going to be finally getting somewhat of a comic accurate Penguin. At least it's not the one from the movie. Not that I don't like the one from the movie. It's just the fact that we have so many fucking Batman and no fucking villains for him to go up against besides Jokers. Todd, make a fucking Two-Face. A fucking Riddler. Not from the movie, an actual fucking Riddler. A Mr. Freeze, please. It's like, we have all these Batmen, but nobody for him to fight. Oh, we have a Deathstroke. God damn it, Todd. Fucking A. I mean, I love Batman. I love Batman. But enough, Todd. Enough Batman. Give us something else. You've literally given us every iteration of Batman. Like you pulled out that Zor-El one that just give us some villains. I mean, he's finally giving us some in the form of the mega figures, with Titan Joker, Clayface, Man-Bat, Killer Croc, but like I said, no Two-Face, Mad Hatter, Mr. Freeze, Riddler. There's so many rogues in his gallery that we should have already gotten, and it's like, why haven't we? But it's nice that we finally are with Penguin, and hopefully that leads to more. A Ra's al Ghul, so many ones that we should have. But anyways, hopefully in this Arkham City line we do get a few more. Well, I think we are going to be getting a Scarecrow, but I would really enjoy a more comic accurate Scarecrow. Not that I don't like the Arkham one, I would like both, but it just seems like we're not going to be getting a comic one anytime soon. So next up, let's go ahead and talk some Star Wars news. There were some rumors, but I'm not going to talk rumors until they're confirmed. But the one that was confirmed was another Target exclusive, guys. Get ready for the Andor Shore Trooper. Yes, guys, for the fourth time around, we had the Rogue One, we had the Archive, we had the Carbonized, which was piling up on shelves on Target, and now we have the Andor Shore Trooper. Move over, Lando. You've got a new peg warmer in town, and its name is, well, the Andor Shore Trooper, because, like I said, this is the fourth time we've got this figure. The Carbonized one didn't do too well. The Archive one was in plenty of abundance. It actually went on clearance after I bought so many for full price. And then, of course, you had the original release. So now we're getting the Andor version. And did you guys know that show is actually premiering at the end of this month? Fuck, I have so much Star Wars fatigue, and I'm just like, huh? What? I just don't really care anymore, like, about Star Wars or Marvel, in terms of new content and stuff like that. It's just like, kind of just fatigue, So, I mean, I'll probably check it out, because I really did enjoy Andor, and I really did enjoy Rogue One. Rogue One is the best, or the second best Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie out of Disney, but the second best Star Wars media out of Disney. The first one being obviously The Mandalorian, and the second one being Rogue One. So hopefully they can make this series really, really good. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. So next up, let's go ahead and move on to our final category, or our final franchise, or our final line. Marvel Legends. They had a little Marvel Legends live, which is why we have quite a bit of news to talk about. But like I said, most of this was already announced. These are just actual images of the figures now, and also pre-orders went up. And that is of the new What If wave that was shown off, I believe, during Comic-Con a few weeks back. They showed off images and stuff, but now we actually have images of the actual figures. So we are going to be getting a partner to Zombie Cap in the form of Zombie Iron Man. Now this guy does look sick, but it just makes me want the Hot Toys version even more. We are going to be getting a pissed off version of Wanda Maximoff, or the Scarlet Witch. And we are going to be getting a What If Red Skull. Now I personally don't really know what the difference is between this Red Skull is and the regular one, but maybe they're just trying to give us another Red Skull because it's been so long since they've released a Red Skull. So that works too. Unfortunately, aren't these What If figures kind of a bit cartoonish looking and stuff? They have that softer look and feel to them, right? If I'm not mistaken. I only have Zombie Cap, so I kind of really wish I would have picked up Zombie Hunting Spider-Man. That would have been a cool figure. Now that's another hot toy that I really want to pick up too. And then Jimmy Woo is joining the line as well. And also Howard the Duck with Ant-Man's head. So that's a fun one. Loki Kang is also in this wave. And also Loki Variant is a part of this wave. I really feel like they could have put someone else in instead of that old guy. But a lot of people seem to like that old guy. I mean, he even has a fucking hot toy. So yeah. And then the Build-A-Figure for the wave is the big bad from, or the god from Moon Knight. Don't make me pronounce that. I saw the show. I barely paid attention, so I don't really know how to pronounce his name. But the guy, the picture right here. So next up, they did unveil that big pack of villains with Spider-Man that they had shown off as well. It was the Spider-Man box set, and I have all the names written down for you this time. They're not just guesses. So it comes with Silvermane, Human Fly, Ultimate Black Suit Spider-Man, which looks god awful, Razorback, and Molten Man. So yeah, for $175, you can get all these figures. And honestly, Molten Man looks like shit. Spidey looks like shit. Silvermane looks like shit. So yeah, that wraps it up for this week's toy news, guys. Episode 48. Like I said, not a lot of toy news because of Comic-Con a few weeks ago, but I'm sure things will pick up in the next few weeks. So yeah, guys, I mean, until then, I guess we just have to wait and kind of just take what we can get, the little trickle here and there that we're going to get from these toy companies. So like I said, episode 48, 2 away from 50, guys. So please let me know down in the comments below, what would you want for the giveaway? A DC Multiverse figure, a Black Series, a NECA Ultimate. Let me know down in the comments below, and we will be doing that episode 50. I won't be picking the winner episode 50, but I will be announcing the giveaway on episode 50. With that being said, why don't we go ahead and move on into this week's unboxing. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and do Owlman first. Honestly, guys, out of all the figures, this is probably the only one that I am going to keep, although I don't know who that final figure is just yet, so I may be keeping two. But like Ultraman and Superwoman, yeah, they're getting sold. But this last figure, it may be a keeper if, you know, nah, it doesn't say what figure it is. But I am keeping Owlman and the Build-A-Figure Starro. That's the whole reason I'm collecting this wave, is for the Starro Build-A-Figure. So I do have my handy dandy unboxing Batman knife right here. Slit that open. Oh shit, what fell? Oh, the crow. We're good. Open this box up. Here is a tray shot of the figure, of the trading card, and the stand that it does come with. And so let's start removing things. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut to when I have this guy all out of his plastic, because I don't want you guys to be kind of, you know, made death by all the crinkling plastic and stuff. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, so here we have them all out of the package, and once again he has that cheap swap meet plastic feeling, although out of all the figures in this wave he is the best looking. So yeah guys, super happy with the way he looks. I have to admit, he's pretty fucking cool. I have to admit, this guy's actually pretty fucking cool for being a Batman knockoff. I'm not usually a big fan of those guys, but this one's actually pretty fucking cool, especially his cape that looks like, you know, feathers and stuff. So yeah, this guy's actually pretty fucking cool. I have to admit, Owlman is pretty cool. He does come with Starro's tentacles. So next week when we do open up Superwoman here, she does have the base to Starro, so we will bring out the other piece that I do have from Ultraman, these pieces from Owlman, and put them together as much as we can, because at this point we're only missing one other figure, which should be coming out sometime soon, right? November, so not really too soon, because we were supposed to get Superwoman in April. I just found her now. We were supposed to get him in September. No wait, 7, that's July, right? Yeah, 7 is July, and I just found him now at the end of July, early August. So yeah, we should be getting the last one sometime in November, at least according to the box. So yeah guys, with that, oh wait, he does come with this, you know, Starro accessory as all the other ones do. So yeah, other than that guys, yeah, like I said, super cool figure. I mean, he does have that cheap feel, but probably one of the last few remaining McFarlane figures that I will be buying. I'm kind of edging my way out of this line, except for certain mega figures and this Starro Build-A-Figures. I love giant plastic figures, guys, so what can I say? I had to get this line specifically for this damn Starro. I really wish he would have just made it a standalone mega figure, but it is what it is. So there we go. So yeah guys, with that being said, that wraps up this portion of Coffee and Toys. If you did enjoy it, please remember to give it a like and leave me a comment. If you made it this far, type down in the comments below, Owlman. That way you know you've made it this far and you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already, please follow me over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. And I do have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Check it out if you like what you see, and you'll follow there as well. If you happen to like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. That's where I post all my unboxings. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to me here on YouTube at CoolFigurez. We are so close to 1,000 followers, guys, or 1,000 subscribers, I should say. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you can and want to support the channel, please check out my Patreon link down below in the description. And also, once again, a big, huge shout out and thank you to Zach Oat and Diamond Select for sending over some amazing product for me to shoot and review for you guys. Look out for those reviews coming up very soon, starting this week, guys. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into this week's Coffee and Toys Live. Alright guys, welcome back to the CoolFigurez page. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector, and welcome to episode 26 of Coffee and Toys, where I speak to a new guest every week about toys, toy collecting, toy photography, and so much more. This week, guys, I'd like to welcome back the first ever guest that we had here on Coffee and Toys Live, and that is Jason B. Michael, man. Welcome back.
What's up? What's up? I didn't know I was the first. I was the first. That's awesome.
You were the first. Technically, Paige was kind of the first, but that was before I kind of branded it as Coffee and Toys Live and was going to do it routinely.
Right.
That was like my first, I kind of just dipped my toes in the water with him. But you were like the official first guest of this show.
All right. Well, there. I'll call him then. Eventually, once we start talking again, I'll give him a call and say I was his first, man.
Sounds good. But I do want to preference this by saying all of the information that we are going to be using in terms of the Mezco reveals, news, and all that stuff is provided by Paige himself. So if you guys want to stay up to date with anything Mezco related in terms of news, reveals, charges, shipping, definitely go ahead and follow the toy page on Instagram and YouTube.
Sounds good.
All right, man. So how have you been? I mean, I know I already asked you that, but how's your actual week been so far? You said you just got back from vacation with your family?
Yeah, I want to apologize right off the bat because the cat's going to be annoying as fuck as she usually is. But anyway, I actually asked my wife to take care of this. I changed spots, so I'm just going to shoo her away. Get away, go. How's it been this week? It's been stressful. Like I said, getting ready for the new semester and all that is like as a teacher, like you officially start work on a specific date, but you actually start 2 weeks ahead of time during vacation, start prepping. Okay, what's my calendar going to look like? What's the course plan? What do I have to include now? Are there any things that have changed in terms of, some of the college's policies and all that I have to update and whatnot? And so, you start boning up a little bit earlier. And so I've been trying to put that at the back of my mind a little bit, just waking up a little bit early and just going like, okay, this email. Technically, I'm not supposed to answer, but I'll answer anyway and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's been okay. I mean, I decided to take yesterday morning off to take a picture of the new skulls. And so that was fun because, like, while I was with my folks over at their place, I was talking to my dad and I was like, hey, man, I want to repaint this van. I don't want to do it black. I want to have a different color on it and all that stuff because I have a really, fun shot in mind for this new set that I got. And I kind of explained it to my dad what I wanted it to look like. And it's fun because I sent him the shot before I posted it. And he was like, he says, it's funny because I pictured exactly what you explained. And when I saw the picture, he was like, okay, he says, I understand how your mind works a little bit more now. So that was fun. So yeah, and I met one of my good friends. We hadn't seen each other throughout the summer, so he came over for lunch today. We actually went out for lunch, and so that was really fun because he was in Spain for I think 3 weeks or a month or something like that during the summertime. So we didn't have any time to hang out or catch up or anything like that. So that was really cool. So yeah, it's been somewhat of a stressful yet not so stressful week. But yeah, no, I'm holding in there. How about yourself?
It's been good. It's been a busy week. I helped organize a bodybuilding show this past weekend, so I was like super busy and stuff. So I was
Right.
like trying to catch up and everything, with this whole week. Monday, I thought, okay, all my clients rescheduled for later on in the week. I was relaxing. I was opening up some new toys. All of a sudden, I get a call, and my client's like, "I'm here." I was just like, "Oh shit, you're supposed to come in today." So I ran out and I went and got to work for a bit, and it's just
Right.
been a crazy busy week. But yeah, like you said, it's been crazy busy, but also good. I've got some new product in, been taking some review pics. I recently partnered up with some toy companies. They sent me some products. So, it's really
Nice.
cool when you partner up. Yeah,
Congratulations,
exactly.
man.
Thank you,
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's really cool to be able to do that and, have the opportunity to do that. And I'm trying to like really do my best to showcase the figures as best as I can to show them
Yeah.
that I appreciate, the opportunity and everything.
hmm That's really cool, man. I'm very, very happy for you. That's always a fun little bonus, when you start, just like rubbing shoulders with people that you want to, you know, in the community itself. I get a little like for my part anyway. It's always a little bit of I feel uncomfortable sometimes when I have like these types of opportunities because I can't contain my excitement most of the time for things that are coming and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
on other times, sometimes you're like, well, I'm not too enthralled by this type of product, so but I still have to kind of do it because I agreed to it. Or like my daughters wanted me to get it for them or something like that, so I had to say yes as a result of like the pressure inside the family. It's like, come on, Dad, you can do this for me. And I was like, fine, let's do this. So it's a couple of projects like that were cool, but. No, man, you've been putting in the work. I've been seeing a lot of stuff, so I think that you're really deserving of all this. So big congrats to you, man. Keep it up.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, like you said, busy week, but it's also been fun, also been good. That's one thing I don't miss though, is, having that whole 3 months off and then having to get back into the swing of things. Like me personally, I need to be in that routine. Whereas when you kind of throw it off, then I get into another routine and then I got to get into a whole another one. It's just like, I don't know. That's one thing I don't miss about school. But at the same time, it does also sound nice. You get those 3 months off, you get to relax, you get to do some toy photography and toy hunting and whatnot. So pros and cons to
Yeah,
everything, right?
yeah. I tried to spend a little bit more time with the kids this summer. Just I after school. I mean, COVID has been such a weird time for me,
Hmm.
even as a teacher. And so it's just one of those things where like the kids like trying to get them back into a groove has been somewhat of I'd say an odd year and a half of work because obviously you want to teach them the material, but at the same time you want to be a little bit more empathetic to what they actually went through and all that stuff. And we've noticed like there's been a huge decline in terms of grades, attendance in school, and stuff like that. Because we basically got the first wave of students that graduated online. But what that
Mm-hmm.
means is that that's also the first wave of kids that were basically not in class. They just turn off their cameras and fuck off and play video games and stuff like that. And so reestablishing some sort of discipline and kind of explaining to them that education is important. You should invest that in invest time in it. And it's not necessarily a waste of time. You should be here by choice, and this is not something that you're forced to do or anything like that. So it's been an exhausting year. So it took a while for me to actually feel like I was on vacation. It was just going like whew, sitting on the couch and all that stuff, and even like creatively speaking, that also drained me. I was too busy trying to recuperate, psychologically
Mm-hmm.
and physically from this very trying year that like I didn't have much fun taking pictures of toys this summer. I was trying my best to, but I was
Mm-hmm.
out of steam and out of ideas and stuff like that. And so just like that's why I'm so pleased with the Pink Skull shot. I feel like I was like, oh God, finally something that I can really latch onto and be happy with and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There was that, and then also the Montreal Comic Con. That was a huge highlight for me, and just going down to visit my parents and spend a week in the pool was fantastic. So yeah,
No, yeah, I totally get that because I actually have a personal training client that's a teacher as well, and they're going through the same thing, but
yeah.
a little bit different, but probably not at the same time. He teaches first grade. I know you teach college, but at the same time, they may be similar in certain aspects, especially having to reintroduce them after COVID and stuff like that.
hmm
So yeah, he's
I
going through
think
the same
yeah,
thing.
I think first grade. There's definitely it's a different challenge, right? I wouldn't have the patience to do what your client does. Um, I barely have enough patience to deal with like adolescents, so much younger kids. Maybe I'd get a kick out of it, you know what I mean? But it's just not the way my mind works. I don't have the imagination that it's required to teach at those levels. And I think that the job that they do is so much more um, important. Not that my job isn't important, but I'm shaping minds in an abstract manner, whereas they're really working on the foundation. I get
Hmm.
to build like the ceiling fan or the little bit of the cupboards or something like that, but they're literally building what's going to actually hold the house. So I feel like their
Yeah.
jobs are a lot harder than mine.
Yeah, we have someone here in the comments saying major scale saying that he became a homeschool teacher over everything, after COVID and
Oh,
everything, and he
wow.
teaches second going into third.
I'd love to know
So,
how that works. I'll hit him up later. I like major scale, and but I'd love to know how homeschooling works because I've heard of it, but I've never encountered anybody who's actually done it or lived through it or something like that. And to me, it's something that I find interesting, but I wouldn't know where to begin. So I'm very curious
yeah.
about how people shape that knowledge because I know that like institutions and stuff like that they've had years and years and years of stuff. Not that that's a good thing. I think that a lot of the education system needs to change, but hearing about homeschooling to me sometimes it's in those little circumstances that you might actually find the key to unlocking some sort of potential in a future scholarly environment. So I'll look forward to talking to him about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. He says it's tough, and I have the utmost respect for any teacher now. So he says it's tough, but
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, me personally, my only homeschooling experience was when we got sent home for COVID. We were told we're gonna get an extra week for spring break, and next thing you know, I'm graduating at home. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So that's just how that happened for me.
Do they
Real
have to
quick,
make paper hats?
yeah, we did. We had little things. No, they actually wanted us to pay like the full graduation fee and everything to attend the virtual one, and I was like, I'm good.
Fuck
Yeah, I
you.
was like, just send me my diploma in the mail. I'm
Yeah,
good.
right on,
Yeah, I was like,
right.
I'm good. But real
Right.
quick, guys, if you have a question, don't put it in the questions. Just go ahead and leave it in the comments because I can't reach my phone, so I can't touch the question box and stuff because I see I have a notification in the question box. So just leave it in the comments, and I'll be able to read it on my computer. But yeah, so getting back to everything, kind of like you said, I kind of had the similar summer to you where I had a few ideas here and there for photography and toys and everything, but nothing was really sparking my imagination. Nothing was really like there for me to like take a good pickup. I took ones here and there, but I was really waiting for that spark, and just like you, the Pink Skulls Club came out, and that's where that thing was just a box of fun, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's just literally a box of fun that I'm afraid that my toy page is just going to turn into a Pink Skulls, toy photography page, because that's all I'm going to be using for the longest time,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that, like, you kind of like you, it really sparked my imagination. I've been taking some really fun pics with them and stuff, and unlike you, I didn't have the first set, so I've been really having fun exploring these guys and seeing what they can do and stuff like that.
That's one thing I'm extremely happy for people that missed out on the first set, because it was one of those sleeper hits. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people passed on it. They're like, this is just, another Street Gomez with different heads. Who gives a fuck about that and all that stuff? But eventually it started picking up momentum because everyone realized just how
You
many
can do.
accessories these guys came with. You could, part them out. You could do so many different types of things, accessory wise. You
Mm-hmm.
could get them different personalities just by taking off the jacket, or changing the shirt, or just adding a different type of skull, giving different
Mm-hmm.
weapons and things like that. So the possibilities became endless. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel that I was fortunate enough to get on that wait list, and when it converted, I was just super lucky. It was really funny because I remember telling my wife, "Listen, it's an expensive set. I really feel that it's going to be fun for me to have these." And I said, "Listen, it's on the wait list. The chances of it converting they're not good, And lo and behold,
That
I
was
said,
your ace.
maybe it's basically two or three
It,
months
it
down the
won't
road,
happen.
maybe. Exactly. And it converted the next day. And I was like, oh. And then 3 days later, they were on my doorstep. And I was like, but I wasn't expecting a 10. I didn't understand, I was like, oh, how
Uh-huh.
the hell did they get them in that? It's just super
Yeah.
fun. So, but this new set, like, I really am happy that people are like that have been wanting them, that they don't have to pay a crazy price for them. This is a really
Yeah.
decent price for what it comes with as well. That the fact that they included the old heads as well,
And
that is cool. The
upgraded new
old
sculpts of the
shirts,
old heads.
yeah, those are fun. Uh, so it's really pleasant to see that the people that had missed out actually finally got them at a decent price, because man, sometimes people are selling that thing for like $1,000, 750 US, and so like being in
Mm-hmm.
Canada, that's like almost $1,000 is what I think it converts to like 1,300 or something like that. But then you have
Oh,
there's shipping on top of that, and I'll get charged for
and
import fees. It's
taxes,
my my
fees.
my
Yep.
my my moaning that I always do being here up here in the Canada. But now people are getting these skulls finally, and it's really cool. And I hope people are really happy about them too, because
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen much in the groups about it. I've been kind of weaning off social media a little bit, but overall it seemed very positive. So I don't know if you've heard anything about it, if anybody's been really happy about them or what.
I've seen nothing but positive reviews and talks and pictures of them. I haven't really seen anybody say anything negative. Like you said, I think people are just happy to have finally got them in hand. There was a few people when they first announced it that were kind of bitching and complaining about the price point. But for me, not having to pay like that $750 to $1,000 third party price, I'll
Mm-hmm.
pay that $350 or $400 for this big old box set or whatever it was. You know what I
It
mean?
was
Like,
285, wasn't it?
yeah, something like basically almost $300 versus $750 to $1,000 for an older set with far less accessories and upgrades and stuff like that. So it's like I'll pay that price now, and knowing that when it comes out, it's going to be $750 to $1,000 if I
Right,
want it later. Although
right.
I have only been seeing it being resold for about $400, which is quite surprising, because the old skulls are still retaining their value. I remember speaking to somebody when these were starting to hit people's doorsteps selling the older skulls, and I was like, maybe he'll be
Don't do
willing to sell
that.
that. No, I was just like, maybe he'll be willing to sell it at a lower price since they're reissuing it. And he's like, no, I want 750 for it. I was like, all right, man, have fun. Like, I got one on the way. Like, don't worry.
Man, that's so weird to me. Like that's a conversation like Paige and I have had in the past, and it's like if like collections don't necessarily have any value. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like old Star Wars 1977 things where there's it's a rarity. Yes, pink
Yeah,
skulls are rare and stuff like that, but the value that they have, if you're not selling it, you're not getting any money, and therefore it has no value. The value is the price
the
that
price you
you're
paid retail.
exactly. Well, yes, that, but also if the person doesn't buy at that price, then it's not the price that they're willing to pay, and therefore the value itself just is whatever the hell you paid for it. Now, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
when I see like people selling them for 750 or $800, I feel like some of those people actually bought them for like $500 or $600, and now they're trying to make a buck on it, which is understandable. I'm not going to criticize them for that, but I mean, I can't justify that, man. My wife fucking, I don't even know if I would be allowed to sleep on the couch. I'd probably be sleeping on the rug in the front door if I tried to spend the money on that, man.
Dude, right? Like that's just
Uh,
ridiculous. That breaks down to about 350 a piece almost for a figure.
but
Like
yeah, people are paying them to 225 for one with the accessories. I'm like,
yeah, it's
whoa, you
ridiculous.
know,
I've seen one go up for 400 on its own, like with the accessories and stuff. I was like, nah, I'm good.
not good.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
yeah, you can get a really good hot toy for that price. You know what I mean? Like that's like a maybe a quarter scale hot toy, and I mean
oh yeah,
that's going to retain its value and stuff. Whereas these, like you said, they don't really have that value. Especially in the 1/12th community. I feel like they have a certain value, but then kind of like when these reissues happen, then you take that hit because there's more in the community and there's an upgraded set, more accessories, better
hmm,
bodies, better soft goods. So it's like you play a dangerous game if you're trying to kind of make money off these toys in that sense, in my opinion.
yeah. But that's it. So I kind of brought like the old school. I put the new hat on him, so this is like the old school skull. And I gotta be honest, man. I mean, these guys are so cool, you know.
Oh
And
yeah.
like you were saying, sorry. One of the things that I thought was interesting, like people complaining about the price point. The original skulls were at 225, right?
Hmm.
225 with a bunch of accessories, a wonderful tin. Ajax, what's up, man?
What's up,
Uh,
classification?
and now the new set is at 285, but you get like instruments, you get like beer cans, you get the
Alternate
accessories are
heads.
wild. Like you've got 9 heads in that set, as opposed to these ones that had 6, which is really good. You know,
Yeah,
you
you
got
get
the
three
baseball
more.
bats in the original sets, but it was just one of those things where I was like, hey guys, do you not realize that we've got instruments now? There's so much stuff that we can be doing with this. The possibilities are so good. There's a
Hmm.
lot more in this set, so I understand the price. And not only that, what I feel is even more interesting is that Mexico decided to make it fair. They could have easily gone higher. They could have
Hmm.
easily gone higher because if you break it down per figure, we're talking about less than $100 a figure.
Hmm.
What's the normal
Hmm.
price point now? If you're going to be looking for Rumble, we're looking at 112 normally. So,
Yep.
that's $336 if we add it up. And they didn't do that. And we're talking about, look at the amount of accessories that come with it. Now, to me, this
Yeah.
pink skull set, I know people, I'm pretty sure Jax picked up a set or two. I was hoping because I remember he and I had a conversation about. He says, I heard you have an extra set of skulls. Would you be willing to sell it to me? And I was like, I see. I don't consider it an extra set.
It's just a second set I
It's just a
have.
second set. I mean, they're friends. I don't feel like breaking up their community. I told him, I said that I'd send him one, and if he wanted to take pictures of it, one figure. And I said, use Photoshop. You can put 20 if you want. And he said, no. And he says, I'll try to continue looking for a set. And so that was cool. But I'm hoping he picked this one up and I'm positive he did. And I'm positive he's working on some stop go animation with right now. He's probably having a fuck ton of fun with that shit, man. So I'm really hoping. I don't know what kind of odd jobs he's got right now, if he's planning on doing something like that, because I know that he's been doing a lot of reels, the latest one with Thor and all that stuff. He recently put out a picture as well. But I'm looking forward to seeing if Jax actually goes the stop go animation route with the Pink Skulls, the new set, and what he has in store for us for that stuff. But I'm excited what the possibilities are in that case.
No, yeah, man. I'm excited to see what everybody's going to be putting out in the next few months with this set. I feel like it seems like a lot of people got him in at a really bad time. Like they're either moving, they're doing stuff, they're really busy, either starting school or something. So I feel like as time goes on, we're going to start to see more and more, but I've seen nothing but positive and great picks, with them so far. It seems like you said, like a lot of people that didn't get them have finally got them, or having a lot of fun with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so many great accessories that just not only apply to them, but also can just set up your diorama and everything, the beer cans, the bottles, the crate,
Yep.
everything, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, I put myself on the wait list for another set. I don't know if it's going to convert, but I was like, three's a gang, but, six is a party. So I was like, they need some more friends.
I kind of agree with that. And that's it. So I got a second set too. So that'll be lots of skulls. So
Yeah,
that
three,
by my
six,
count,
nine, 12.
that's 12 total now. Eventually, I'll have to make a shot, like an epic weird shot with just like all 12 of them or something like that, and it'd be
You should
real
just
fun.
do old school versus new school skulls, just like a big rumble right there.
Yeah, something like beat it, Michael Jackson. Everybody's starting to fight.
There you go, man.
But that'd be cool. But yeah, so no, and this is the fun thing about this new set is I feel that Mexico's actually teasing us with a few things in that set.
Like what?
The bomb, for example, that feels to me like they're hinting at Batman 66 on the 112. Because there's an
Mm.
episode where Adam West is running around with that bomb over his head.
What's
Some
the
days you just
movie?
can't rid of
It's
it.
the
Yeah,
movie, yeah.
there you go. Some days we just can't get rid of a bomb, And I'm like, I said, why the fuck would the Pink Skulls have that? Doesn't make any sense to me. So
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that given the fact that they've gone down to Golden Age Batman and they're probably going to be doing the comic line, they're maybe going to work their way up to actually giving us a 2-pack, maybe like Adam West and Burt Ward or something like that, the 66 Batman. So
You
that would be
think so?
fun. Yeah, man. And I
Well,
mean,
they
I'm
did get
hoping
Keen.
it would be fun. It would be fun if like the bomb came with it, and they'll be like, "Ah, look at that." It would be really funny to have like a shark or some shit like that. That'd be real cool. And I think like they gave us like we'll call them marijuana cigarettes, but I think
Hmm.
that these are like tests that they probably did for like things like Constantine or something like that, right? So
Hmm.
we have all these little accessories that they're kind of hinting at with their musical instruments. I don't know. Do they have like molds that they want to go down the route of maybe making bands, in the line? I don't know if they want to like put out some action figures based on, some musicians or something like that. I'm not saying that maybe we get, like a 112 collective Jimmy Page or anything, but you never know. It'd be
That
cool
would
to
be sick. A whole Zeppelin 112.
yeah, because I mean, I don't remember who did it back in the day. I think it was McFarlane. They used to put out
Hmm.
those types of figures. Is there a market for that? I have no clue,
I think
but
there is, because at least the older ones, like the McFarlane ones, if you look on eBay and stuff, they go for easily 200 plus now. So yeah, if you want them sealed, and even I've seen some that are open and used going for like 150 plus. It's like,
mhm.
because I'm a big Slash fan, so I looked into getting a bunch of those, and it was just like, I'm not gonna pay that for that. You know what I mean? It was like
Uh,
ridiculous prices. I was just like, no, I'll wait. So I ended up waiting, and I don't know if you know about the Loyal Subjects, but they ended up releasing these ones.
yeah, those are cool, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
saw these guys, and I was like, all right, I finally got my Slash figures.
You see, the fun thing about like the Pink Skull set is when I showed my dad. My dad was like, he says, look, those glasses are so cool. He says, you know what you could do? He says, if you can find a top hat and you can get your Leslie, my wife, she could give you some of her yarn because she knits, and you could make that little like Slash's hair. You could put the top hat on and then put the glasses on. You'd have like a skull Slash. So you go ahead and take
Dude,
that idea. If you can find some yarn somewhere and just make yourself a skull, or even a wig that you can just chop off some hair or some shit like that and put it
right?
on the Pink Skull's head or something like that. You got yourself a 112 collective Pink Skull Slash. That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna go through my sister's old Barbies and get some curly hair.
There you go, man. Yeah, that, or I mean, you can even use like an old Doc Knock head or something like that. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's one of their records where they're all skull faces and they all have
Yeah,
that. So basically, you could kind of remake that type of skull face using a Doc Knock head, having the curly hair and the top
the
hat. If
top
you
hat.
have Gotham by Gaslight Joker, that top hat might actually fit.
I do. I have them.
There you go.
I'm about to steal that idea from you, man. I'm sorry.
Take it, take it. I'm not making any slash pictures.
I'll definitely have to do that for my next pick with these guys because I had already planned to do like one of them at their concert and stuff. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be thrown in there. They're gonna be the Pink Skulls featuring Slash.
There you go. That's so good. Yeah, and, I mean, I like the accessories that they're trying as well, like opening up the beer can, the stuff that's coming out, the little brew that's coming over the side. I don't know what they could be hinting at with that, but it feels to me that if they've made those molds, they're going to continue using those types of props, right? So
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's a few more things that I'm missing out on that they could be hinting at, like the hats, like for Run DMC and all that stuff. The king, the crown, obviously it has to be a reference to Biggie Smalls. So are they planning on re-releasing a new up and coming Biggie Smalls action figure? Because that's kind of what started a little bit of the line in the early 2000s as well. So
Mm.
there's a lot of fun stuff in there that you know.
Yeah. That's the great thing about Rumble Society is that, one, it hints at so much, and two, they can be utilized for so much too. It's
Mhm.
not really tied down to anything. Me personally, I think those beer cans were perfect timing for the release of that new Wolverine. And he obviously loves to pound some beers, so I've taken a few pics of him, drinking the beers. Like
Yeah.
when I did my review, one of his hands is like specifically a secret pan, and I was like, this has to be a beer holding hand. Like it's perfect.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep, that one right there.
Major Scale, he wanted to know how the editing's going on with the tablet. It was good. I had fun editing the skull shot with the tablet. That was a really fun one. It's not the easiest thing to get used to. However, I got to be honest with you guys. Um, Using the tablet that Huayan sent me has been incredibly fun when it comes to using layer masks and using the brush tool and using like the clone stamp tool and stuff like that, because I can get in real close. Whereas before I was just kind of rubbing on my trackpad and trying to get in there and zooming in and all that stuff. Whereas now with the pen, it's just so much easier to do that. Now it's a little clunky. The setup is a little clunky because I have all my shortcuts on my laptop, but then I'm looking over here, so I kind of have to and kind of glance over and then just kind of work on that. So it can get a little weird. I'm trying to use the little display, little keep dial that they sent me. I haven't programmed it yet. Eventually, once I do, I'll put the letters for like L will be there, so a new layer, and then after that B for brush or something like that. I'll be able to do that. That'll be all right. But sometimes it's a little complex, but I'm enjoying the process of learning how to use it. So it's been fun, real fun. So I'll say it that way.
Is that what you used to edit your last photo with the pink skulls and everything?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
really funny because what happened was I got an email and I'm editing on my phone. Yeah, man. Oh fuck, I can't even imagine. Like phone screens are so tiny. My thumb's all screwed up when I'm trying to. But Huayan sent me like now this is a company I think in China, but I get a message in English from a guy called Julian, but spelled with an E, so that's French. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And so I got this message and I was like, hey, we'd really like to collaborate with you and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, sounds. I was ready to kind of just like, nah, because
Hmm.
uh, I got a few of those messages sometimes, and then you're like, ah, fuck, I'm gonna have to work. Sometimes like, if you could do this, we'd send you this thing, and I'm like, I don't want that thing, so no, I don't want to do that,
Hmm.
and it's just one of those things. Like, I want to do this for fun. I don't want to do this because
For work.
it's hard. Like, yeah, exactly. I had started looking at the business side of it, and there's a part of me that was like, you know what? No, I don't want to be in that. I don't want to make money in it and stuff like that. There's a contract that I have right now with Plunderlings, which I'm really enjoying and all that stuff. But I think that probably be the last one I'm going to take. After that, I'm just like, I want to do this. I want to have my creative freedom to do anything I want. Not that they're not giving me that; they're actually giving me that. Because other than that, it gets the pressure gets annoying, to be quite frank. Working with other people and all that stuff. Mezco and Planet Links have been absolutely fantastic to work with because they've always said, "Hey, we just kind of want you do the stuff that you do, and everything's gonna be fun." Like, thank you. But then you work with other people, and they're like, "Oh, can you take that out? Can you do this? Can you change that? We don't really like that one. Can you do this instead?" And I'm like, "Man, I spent like fucking 2 days doing this." No. And so
No.
when I got the message for the tablet, I was
Hey,
like,
what's up, Figure Fan Nate?
"Hey, what's up, Nate?" I said, "I don't know if I want to do this." But then I looked online, and then I asked my daughter. I says, you watch drawing tablet videos. Have you ever heard of this brand? And like her eyes just like got super wide. And I was like, what? And she was like, you guys, they're really great. Like there's Wacom and there's Zen. And I was like, oh, so you know about these people.
She's like, yeah,
And
just a
she was
bit.
like, yeah, she says, I really like that. I really like to have one of those things. And I said, okay. I says, well, maybe I could do it. Like, and I talked to my wife about it, and I was like, I don't particularly feel like doing this, And she was like, yeah, but Allie would love to have that drawing pad. Why don't you do it for her? And I was like, all right, I'll do it for Allie. And so I messaged him back, and I said, okay, hey, I'd really like to do it, and it'd be really cool. And so they sent me this 22-inch screen that I can edit on, and I got used to it. And then my daughter was like, why is it on your desk? I said, I said, I said, because they sent it to me, and you don't have a laptop computer, and you have a brand new iPad, and mine is 10 years old, so you can draw on my desk if you want to learn how to use Photoshop. I'll teach you how to do it, but for now, I kind of like this. So she was really pissed. Like I saw her face. Allie's the type of girl that she doesn't hide her emotions too well. So if ever you ask her how she's doing and she says fine, it sounds like there's a period at the end of that fine. No, she's not doing fine at all. So I said I'd look into one for Christmas. But yeah,
Or just get back in contact with that brand and be like, you know what, I really like this. Do you have any other ones that you want me to try out?
I got to be honest. I don't think they'll contact me again to work again because I offered. I said, listen, I don't mind like making an unboxing video. I don't mind making a shot where I use the tablet and then I could post a TikTok video. And they were like, well, we noticed you have a YouTube channel. Would you mind making a YouTube video? And I was like, I don't mind, but I don't really have a following on YouTube, so you guys are going to be disappointed by the amount of views you're going to get. And they were like, well, we really like YouTube, so we wouldn't mind if you did that. And I was like, all right. And so I think I got about 120 views now because my YouTube is so tiny. I was trying to maybe mobilize a few people to get up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so I could actually do some live streams and not like, take a little bit of live over there. But I think I got 30 or 40 people to subscribe to my YouTube, So yeah, it's just one of those things where I was like, what the fuck is the point of having 30K followers if you're going to get 40 people follow you on YouTube? It's like, but half of you fucking leave so I can start all over again.
Well, for me, I feel like Instagram and YouTube are two different platforms. I feel like with Instagram, people understand if you, especially photographers like you or Figure Fan Nate that take these amazing shots where you can tell you put hours, days of work into not only just the thought process, but the setting up and then the post, the editing. And I've spoken to enough toy photographers, and I think it was even you first off that told me, you take your shot, you go and you edit, and then you realize I don't like this, and you go back and you start the process all over again. Yep. Especially if you happen to have taken it all down, then you're like, fuck, you gotta set it back all up. And that's why I think you said you've gotten into the habit of leaving it there until you've gone, edited a bit, and then being like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to reset it up and stuff like that. So I feel like on Instagram, people will follow you and understand, it's a longer process to do this. Where YouTube, man, it's a whole nother fucking beast. They expect you to pump out content like if it's your full-time job, which for some people it is, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But for a lot of us that are just starting out, it's not. This is what we do on the side, and yet YouTube and your audience kind of expect you to still pump out as if you are a big YouTuber and you can have all that time to just constantly put something out and stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah,
Yeah.
it gets tiring, man. It gets tiring. Sometimes I'm up to like almost 3 a.m., editing that day's video to get it up and stuff. And I have to be up at like 5 or 4 to, go to work. And I'm just like, come
Oh
on. But it's
man.
like, if you miss a day, for some odd reason, the YouTube algorithm just really punishes you. You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to like keep that schedule, keep that consistency. And I feel like people there only subscribe to you if you have that. If you only post every once in a while, you don't really get that following, and I feel like Paige kind of faces the same issue. He puts out some very high quality, good information videos that are worth the wait, in my opinion, yet he doesn't have the following that he really should on YouTube because he's not pumping it out like constantly, you know what I mean? So the YouTube algorithm isn't pushing him out, isn't giving him what he should be getting, in my opinion, because like I said, he puts out some really high quality, good stuff out there. You just have to wait for it. It's
Hmm.
just on that platform, people are so fucking impatient.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm not ever going to be a YouTuber. I don't think so, anyway. Maybe not in this lifetime. But I mean, I enjoy the platform, but it's not one that I understand. And I was gonna monetize this video. Obviously, it wouldn't have gotten a fucking penny. But then I was noticed that you can only monetize once you like people have watched 4,000 hours and all that. I was like, oh fuck,
Mm-hmm.
how the fuck am I supposed to get 4,000 hours of viewing time when I'm putting out videos that are maybe like, I put that one was 20 minutes, I think, but that 20-minute video took 2 days to make, So I'm like, what do you know? I'm not going to do that. I'm going back to work. There's no way I'm going to be on YouTube next week doing something. I thought maybe like, of putting the BTS on YouTube. That's something that I wanted to like maybe ask the people that are maybe here now or also like the people that are following me is like, how important like like are reels? Would they rather like? Because I was thinking, I have my website that I don't use much. I'm paying for. I figured that maybe a blog post where I explain a little bit of the post process and I put the
Mm-hmm.
video up on YouTube of just like maybe a couple of minutes that I wouldn't have to edit much. A couple of minutes of just the behind the scenes videos. It's just like I could talk over it. I wouldn't mind, that way I can film all this during my setup the same way I would do for Reels, but instead of putting it on Reels, because like Instagram doesn't give a fuck about us anyway. So why I don't necessarily need to make Reels. Like I remember like Passage to Alderaan is a creator here on Instagram who's got wonderful Star Wars pictures and all that stuff. And he recently really got pissed at the amount of reels. And I understand to an extent. Being angry. He kind of singled out a couple of us. I was part of those guys, and he unfollowed me. And so I was like, whatever. It's. I understand the frustration. We're all pissed off, but do people actually really enjoy these videos because they take time to make? And as much as I enjoy the editing process and I enjoy filming and all that stuff, part of me kind of wants to kind of bring it back to the basics. To me, this was an app where I was sharing pictures before of what I would do in my daily life, and then I switched it over to toy photography. I like recording my BTS, but I feel like now I've gotten to a point where I share a lot of information that I don't particularly feel the need to share anymore because everything is documented in the stuff that I've done prior to the most recent shot that I've done. So why would I keep including my BTS when basically everyone knows how I'm doing my things? So to me, it's all that extra work that I find, if I'm not gaining from it in any way, because now I understand my process, I understand my lighting. If I need to go back to a certain shot, I've done it. So I can go
Mm-hmm.
back in my work that I've cataloged and all that stuff and just be like, okay, this is how I set that up. I should be fine. I don't need to set it up the same way anymore because I already have it. So is it really worth me putting my BTS here on Instagram where people are going to go tap, tap, and then go down scrolling? Whereas, carousel means that they're supposed to be spending time on the post, but we're not really getting the views we should be getting or anything like that because every second or third post is a suggested post and an ad. Like today, I opened up Instagram. First thing is an ad for Canadian Tire. And I was like, that's what you're showing me? The first thing? You're going to show me a fucking ad? just because I had a flat tire this weekend and I was debating whether I should go to Canadian Tire or fucking OK Tire or something like that. You're gonna show me an ad, and so I'm like, plus, I mean, the videos that I make in the reels, I sometimes record the same video that I actually posted in the carousel. So I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like, listen, if you guys are already following me, you know how my BTS works. Do I really need to include it? Because some people really just like the shot, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like to show. Is I like to show the work that I did. How I did it. Sometimes it's fun to be like a little bit in the, peek behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz or something like that. But at the same time, I'm like, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to spend that extra time to do it? Because I'm grateful for everyone that likes the post, that enjoys the work and all that stuff. But to me, the platform itself is no longer a place that I find sustainable for the work. And so I shouldn't have to fight a place that doesn't necessarily want to promote my things. So why would I give it more of my time? I should just
Mm-hmm.
post and leave. That's what my job is. So I don't know.
No, yeah. Major Scale says that, believe it or not, whether he posts a behind the scenes, most of his friends actually enjoy that than the main image. And he says that sucks because, we put a lot of work and effort into the main image and we want that to be the focus. But I think he's kind of onto something. It seems like when photographers, especially toy photographers, start posting their behind the scenes shots, which is something rather, it seems like recent, like within the last year or two. Before they used to just throw up their shots, and then now people like Work More or Less, Nazarene, you all start putting up your behind the scenes shots, and it seems
Yeah.
like a lot of people do enjoy that because whether maybe it's they don't have the time to put into the craft or the attention to study the craft, or maybe they're new followers or new into this, it kind of teaches them, it kind of gives them information, and it's kind of goes just into social media because it kind of works in the fitness industry as well. When I was working with the bodybuilding show, we were working with this social media person that was like, trying to help us promote it and stuff. And what she was saying is that the posts that generate the most traction are the ones that kind of inform people of something. You teach people something. And so those behind the scenes shots kind of do teach people, your lighting, your setup and stuff. And even though it's you and normal to you and maybe a lot of your old longtime followers, a lot of new people will still find that interesting, or maybe some people
Yeah.
that haven't seen it, you know what I mean? So it's just the way the algorithm and the social media works and stuff. But yeah, I wish it could just be about the pictures and stuff. But I think your idea of doing like a behind the scenes video on YouTube would be really great. 1-6 Shooter does something similar. He does something called shoot and review. He'll review the toy and then he'll set up a shot and go through that. I recently started
Mm.
a series where I'll take a shot that I spent a lot of time and effort in, and then I'll go deep dive into my lighting, my setup, my thought process of going into it and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of fun because you get to talk about your process and all that stuff in more of an expanded time. You're not, only a minute or 30 seconds. You're having to blah, 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 blah. You can spend time, talk about things. I use this figure. This is what was going on in my process. You know what I mean? So it's
Mm.
pretty fun. And it's not something you have to throw up every day or every so often. Because like I said, it's kind of like the photos, people know those things take time. And then if you show them the process and how long it's taken you and stuff, it's going to show them, a little bit like, okay, this is why he doesn't post so often, because it takes a lot of time just to do this one shot.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think to me, like, I posted a reel today and I deleted it. The reason I deleted it is because after I think 2 or 3 hours, it had 500 views. Now the reason it has 500 views is because I chose to use a Motorhead song, not because of the work itself. It's because the song at that moment is either fucking copyright or it's not trending or some bullshit like that. But to me, that song fits the image. Now I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I spent time editing that video. I get it down to 9 seconds because the attention span today is what it is. And I'm not blaming people. I'm blaming the fucking platform again for that type of thing. Now, I'd love to be able to post a video that's a little bit longer, but we know that we get punished for that shit. You know what I mean? If I look at the analytics, let's say for TikTok and all that stuff, most people won't stay on a video longer than 9 seconds. So I try to stay in that range of 9 seconds. But
Mm.
Jesus, it's so boring to post that shit. You know what I mean? And that Page is another guy. Like we've had many a conversation about the length of his videos. And I said, listen, man, if you wanna get more traction, you gotta shorten that thing. You can't put out a 30-minute video. I understand that to you it's important to see all the details, but to the average viewer, if you're past 10 minutes, that's when they start dropping like flies, man, especially on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So you got to keep it concise. The video I put out it was too long. The one that I did the edit on, but I had cut it down from 35 minutes. I brought it down to 19 minutes. So I chopped out 15 minutes of shit that I was like, I really like that. I should keep that in, but nope. I got to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I condense it. But it's the same thing with reels. And I'd love to be able to post a 30-second reel, but at the same time, I don't feel that it's that informative. It's at some point I'm just like I'm just showing off what the setup is and all that stuff, but I don't know. I'm at a point where I'm debating whether or not I should continue like on TikTok and also like posting videos for reels because it's time consuming, and as much as I like to give, um, I just don't have the time or patience to give as much as I used to in the past. I kind of want to be in a creative bubble where I can do what I want and not chase any sort of trend or anything like that. I just need to be taking risks, fucking up. That's why I posted that photo dump. Where I had
Mm-hmm.
Ian Malcolm running from the Raptors, and I had Lone Roach on a hill and all that stuff. And it was just one of those things where I was like, you know what? Why should I feel ashamed of these? They're not bad, they're not good, they're just B-sides and a bunch of stuff. So I'll put them out, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain the reason I didn't post these is because there was something wrong with them from my perspective. It's not something that I felt comfortable sharing at the time. But then after that, I was like, this is my gallery. Who gives a fuck?
Mm-hmm.
It shows that even like some guys that and I'm not. I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do now, and sometimes there are shots that are not as good. It's just like any recording artist that's going to record 50 songs, and you get, I don't know, 31 of them are absolute garbage, but he manages to put out an album and wins a Grammy.
Yeah, I mean, your odds are a little better than that, man. Trust me. You don't tend to put out any bad shots, at least none that I've seen recently. Maybe from your perspective, but
Yeah.
from my perspective, you always put out some great quality stuff, man. So it's not noticeable if that's what you're thinking and stuff.
I was talking to Mert, Wayne's Collectors. Mert and I have a really good relationship. We talk every day and all that stuff. And he was telling me the other day, and it was funny because I share my shots with him almost immediately. I have three people that I go to, and Mert was one of them. And I go to Mert, Mr. Lee, and I go to Sean, Visual Approach. And Garth. So four people, and Sharif yet. And so I sent a picture to Mert, and this was pretty telling because when I sent him the picture, he said, "You're satisfied with this one, right?" With a question mark. And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I really like this one." He says, "Okay, good," because he says the last three that I had sent him, I never posted. I was like, man,
Mm.
I'm not gonna post those. And he's like, what are you fucking doing, man? He says, these are good. And I'm like, they're not that great. I don't know. He says, your standards are insane. And I was like, but I gotta feel it. If I don't feel it, then I don't want to do it. So it's just funny because it made me realize maybe I'm being too hard on myself.
I mean, it's like they always say, man, we are our own harshest critic. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. Like even in
Mm.
bodybuilding and stuff. That's why you have a coach. That's why you have
Yeah.
people that look at you because you're gonna look at yourself. You may look amazing, but in your head, you're like, okay, I look fat here. I need to lose this, blah blah blah. But then someone
Mm.
looks at you that knows what they're talking about. And they're like, no, you're on track. Like relax, calm down. You're good. It's the same thing. It's all about having that outside opinion and stuff. You know what I mean? And even though we get that outside opinion, we're still always going to look at our own work a little more critically because it's our own creation that we're about to, put out there for other people to judge. That like is a judge. That like is literally them saying it's good. You know what I mean? And if they scroll past it, yeah, you don't really notice because there's no button and stuff. But you're putting your work out there to be judged, and you hope that it does well. You hope that you get, the acknowledgement for your hard work and stuff. Because these photos, as much as they are toys and just photos, they're a lot of work just to set them up. Especially when it's people like you, Mr. Lee, Sergeant Bananas, Visual Approach, where you guys put so much life and effort into your photos. It's not easy. So, I can see why, you can really nitpick everything to make sure it looks to your highest standard because you want people to receive it in that way.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Um, I don't know if it's because I want the people to receive it in that way. I don't. The like to me is used to be very important, but now seeing is that it's so weird because the way that it works now is that um, the they show a bunch of people like suggested posts, like we're suggested posts. You're a suggested post sometimes. I'm a suggested post sometimes. If you're interested in this video, you'll like
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's funny
Mm-hmm.
because when you look at like the numbers, I could be suggested post to 2,000 people, and then it says 12 people liked it or 12 people interacted with it. And you're like, why are you showing so many people that don't give a fuck when you
Mm-hmm.
can show the people that actually want to see my shit?
Yeah.
It's so weird to me that they would do that. Like, hey, you might like this. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, it's like going to the restaurant and you order something, and then the waiter comes with a completely different plate, and he says,
Based off
based
what you
on
ordered.
based on what you ordered, you might like this. And I'm like, but this isn't what I ordered. And it's like, just taste it. You might like, no, get this the fuck off my table and bring me what I fucking ordered.
No, that's a great analogy, man. That's a perfect analogy for it, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
weird.
mean, yeah, it's like you said, every other post is suggested, every other post is an ad. It's like, there's some people that I see that I haven't followed or I've been following for a while that all of a sudden pop up and I'm like, holy shit, where have you been? I click on their profile and they've been posting. I just haven't been seeing any of it. You know what I mean?
It's
I'm
so
just like,
annoying.
I'm missing all this phenomenal toy photography, and it's like frustrating. It's like there's
Yeah.
especially certain artists that I really enjoyed that all of a sudden just disappear. It's like some people they stop, they'll take a break and stuff. It's like okay, but then you go and click on their profile and you realize like they've been posting and you just haven't been seen. You're just like, well, what the fuck?
Exactly. And it's so weird because there's some guys that I've always interacted with, and I'm like, oh man, I thought you took a break. And it's like, no, man, it's just my shit's not being seen. And I was like, fuck. So
Mm-hmm.
now I actively, as soon as I think of someone that I haven't seen in a while, I immediately go to their page and I like
Mm-hmm.
the last month because I hadn't fucking seen their stuff. I want to keep encouraging them. So yeah,
No,
but anyway,
yeah.
that's enough bitching about this stuff. But that's it. It's just more question of where my headspace is at, and it's really funny because I was watching a documentary about Tony Hawk, and it was really great. It was a lot of perspective. He's a little bit older than I am. I think he's 52,
Mm-hmm.
so he's 10 years older than I am. And um, he was talking about when he was young, he was like in competitions and like competing hardcore and all that stuff, looking for deals and really got bored with competing because what he was thinking about is how to accumulate the most amount of points in order to win the competition. So it became one of those things where he was doing it more in a methodical way rather than a creative way where he could actually use the board as a form of self-expression. He wasn't trying to push himself anymore. He was just trying to be as technical as possible in order to win. And
Mm-hmm.
he eventually burnt out on that. And that kind of spoke to me. He said once he started competing, he did go back to competing, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
period of like 4 or 5 years where he just basically stopped entering any form of competitive stuff. And he was practicing in order to make himself better, try different things, try and develop different tricks to come back with the new arsenal, and then maybe eventually from there compete at a higher level. And I was like, oh man, I feel like I watched that documentary at the perfect time where I was like, okay, I think that in order for me to be creative, I have to stop looking at whatever the fuck is going on, and just kind of like, you know what? I control this gallery. I control this page. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter what figures I choose to photograph. If those are the figures that are speaking to me, those are the ones I'm going with. I'm not going to chase anything. Yeah, right now I'm looking forward to shooting the Iron Giant, something that I've never done before, and I'm very, very happy I found one of those figures. And I know most people that followed me, they want to see Mario, they want to see the Swedish Chef, but I don't have any ideas for those guys. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to do that, you know. So I'm going to try to build towards the things that I kind of want to do, and that's just the way I'm going to try to do it from now on. And so it was really great. I mean, I wish that I could meet Hawk and just say, hey man, your documentary really inspired me. Thank you so much. I needed it at this point in time, because going through this, creative and identity crisis, and you can see it. You can see what I did this summer over the course of the summer. It's all over the place. It's just like it's some of the weirdest period of being creative in toy photography for me. It's not. It's a confusing. It's been confusing, but yeah. But, it's just me.
Real quick, man. So I guess Instagram's doing this new thing where they're only limiting lives to an hour. So we're gonna get cut off right now, but
Again?
I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and restart it again, but we're at like 7 seconds. So just stay on, and we'll come right back. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
we'll jump right back into it. Talking about the pink skulls, going back to all that. So since you do own both the old ones and the new ones, what are your thoughts on the two sets?
Ah, boy, that's good. I feel like they're separate entities. To be honest, I feel like as a collector, I don't think that you could make do. I think that you need both. And I think that that's why when we were talking about retaining value earlier, a lot of people know that the first Pink Skull set still is quite awesome.
Hmm.
So I think like from the heart, I have to go with the original set. Not that these ones are not good. Not that
Hmm.
these ones are imposters in any way. I just feel that for my imagination, I really enjoy the new heads and the new head sculpts and all that stuff. That's really great. But for my imagination, I really loved using just this one face and just being able to kind of give him
More
a little
personality,
bit
just
more
depending.
personality just by
Yeah.
posing him, right? The expression itself is always going to be one where he's kind of slightly teasing you in a way, but he can look menacing depending on the angle and stuff like that. So it really changes. Whereas now I feel like with the new head sculpts, notwithstanding, I mean, these ones right here are completely different. They feel like they're a
Yeah.
different gang altogether, which is really
Hmm.
cool. But the expressive faces, although I really like them, I feel that they take a little bit more away from my imagination, you know?
Hmm.
So, but at the same time, that's just me, right? When you look at them, it's really fun, like just the way that you're being able to kind of re-accessorize them and stuff like that. You can
Hmm.
open mouth, close mouth. You can kind of give them like I don't know which face. Okay, this one's the mean face. This one with the raised
Hmm.
eyebrows. So you got the rock one, and you got the one that's worried and all that stuff. I feel that that's
Hmm.
going to be fun because as a person who's enjoyed cartoons for most of his life, to have that extra reaction sometimes is going to be really good.
Hmm.
So I'm really pleased with that. Accessories wise, I feel that for my own sensibilities, the new set is better suited for what I like to do. I think that like right now, I'm going to be working on a shot. Uh, there's this wonderful accessory maker called Betts Makes, BETZMAKES. If you guys haven't seen her work, go follow her immediately. Amazing. And I bought some of the accessories that she made. She sent me some bacon. She sent me a little Pop Tarts. She sent me eggs. She sent me toast. She sent me little pizza slices, and it's just like this wonderful breakfast things. And I was like, I can use that for vapor. I can use that for like it would be so funny to see Darth Vader at a breakfast table. It would be so funny to see, like, and I was like Vapor in bed listening to music, reading a comic book. That's what I'm working on right now with Pop
Hmm.
Tarts, you know, or just like
Yeah.
Vapor's weird face, or he's like, oh, like that, like strips of bacon or some shit, you know, just kind of go into that lighthearted stuff. I feel that
Hmm.
with the accessories that the pink skulls come with, I can add so much to a teenager's room just with beer
Hmm.
cans, joints on the desk or something like that, you know, and
The
just like
crate.
the crate where he could put vinyls in or something like
Hmm.
that, you know. So that's awesome. Like with the original Pink Skull set, the bats made sense to me. The katanas did not. I was like, okay, why do they have swords? I just kind of pink swords on top of that, so it's kind of cool. I mean, but the bats made sense. The handcuffs made sense. The cocktail Molotovs made sense. You know, but and I like the chains made sense. You know, so it's all wonderful for a street gang. But this one, I feel like they added so many things in that could kind of turn them into a comedy troupe that it fits more my sensibilities as a guy that's going
Hmm.
to try to display them in any way. I mean, I think that it would be really fun to recreate that. Some days you can't get rid of a bomb with the pink skulls, you know. So I think that accessory wise, I sway towards more the new set, but in terms of
Hmm.
personality and stuff like that, I'd go towards the older set. Presentation, older set, 100%. That tin,
Hmm.
man, if I wasn't too precious about keeping them in their things, that'd be a cookie jar, man. I'd have that on the counter, man. I'd be picking, maple syrup cookies out of that shit all every day, man. It'd be lovely. But yeah, but I like the options that come with the new set. But because the Pink Skull's the first set, I've always had them. I have a personal attachment to them that are really, 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 really cool. Yeah. So I'd say that for me, by a slight margin, the older set it would be my preferred set.
Okay, well, there you go, guys. Jason's preferred set is the older one, but at the same time, like you said, the newer one does come with some great accessories. And like you said, it just not only just for the pink skulls, but for any figures and dioramas that you want to set up. Like you said, the instruments, the
Yep.
beer cans, the crate, all that stuff just adds to so much atmosphere and livability to those photos and stuff. Yeah, look at those guys. And then I don't know if you know about this, but the McFarlane cycles actually fit them pretty well too.
Oh,
So
neat.
this
I
the
have two
drifter
Marvel
bike.
Legend ones there.
This is
Yeah,
the
that looks pretty
McFarlane
cool.
drifter bike. Yeah, so I bought three of these because they all needed a bike for themselves, right?
So good. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, and kind of going off what you said about the comedic stuff about these guys, I kind of already not so much did that idea with the can't get rid of a bomb, but I did a shot with them on the bikes where I did the head where he's all nervous and stuff. He's kind of popped up like he's like
I
whiskey
didn't see
throttling it
that.
and
I'll
stuff.
go check it out later, man. Okay,
Well,
cool. I hadn't
it's on
seen
my
it.
other page, Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. That's where I post like my more like actual toy photography pages or pictures
Okay.
because
Do
my
I follow
CoolFigurez
that?
page, I'm not sure. That one, yeah, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But like, cause
All right. I'll
my
go.
Cool
I'll go
Figures,
check it out after.
yeah, thanks, man. Cause like my Cool Figures page is just like my review pictures, and I didn't want my harder like the pictures I worked a little harder in to get a little lost in that. So I started a separate page where that's where like all the shots I take time to really set up and stuff. That's where I posted and stuff. And yeah, so I have
Okay.
him whiskey throttle and it's like the expression where he's all worried and stuff. And then I have one of them holding the bomb and it's all lit and stuff. And then one of them's all serious. He has like the cigarette in his mouth and everything. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Very cool. Yeah, man. I definitely will. But yeah, so yeah, the bikes are. I almost bought the McFarlane bikes, but I still had I had the Punisher bike from Marvel Legends, and I also had the Wolverine bike from Marvel Legends. In my most recent shot, you see them; they're both there, right? The two
Mm,
motorcycles on the side of the van.
yeah,
So yeah, that van, man. God, I love that van so much now. I have to weather
yeah,
it.
that came out
That's the
really
only
good.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it came
I
out
was,
really
I was,
good, man.
was very happy about that. I just love that shot so much, man. It's so much fun. Uh, uh, it's the over the top the way I like it.
Was it a little inspired by Mad Max?
It wasn't. I gotta be
Oh
honest with you.
no.
It wasn't inspired by Mad Max at all. I have like a lot of the comments that people are saying it's very Mad Max. But to me, I don't know. I remember when I was describing it to my dad, and I said to him, "Hey man, I wanna have the singer. I think when I described it to him, I said I want the singer driving the truck. And I want him to have with the microphone outside the window. And I want to have the drummer on the top, and I want to have the guitarist with the doors open at the back. And I was like, okay, I think that it might be more fun to have someone drinking and driving, which I don't condone, but it's the Pink Skulls, so for comedic effect. Then I said,
only in toy photography.
Exactly. And then I was like, well, I could have bikers with the leather jackets. That would be cool. And I said, like, it would be fun to have just a singer hanging off the back of the van, just like, just really going for it. And so it just came together. I remember I told my wife, it was Monday night. I said, listen, I really want to take a shot. I really want to have fun. I need to take this picture. It's in my head. It's keeping me up at night. It fucking sucks. But the shots are going to be great. And I said, I want to have them really on a highway to hell. So basically, I listened to AC/DC's song, and I was like, highway to hell. How do I extract that energy from that song and put it into a picture? You know, and so I needed to have that pose with the singer. And I remember my wife, when she saw the pose, she was like, that's cool. I really like he's really dramatic. He's just really going for it. And I was like, cool. So that's neat. It was important for me to get the guitarist in an interesting stance. And I also wanted to have that, the drummer where they spin the, just a little detail.
I noticed that.
I didn't want to have him like just two hands up like that. I really wanted him to be doing like Motley Crue type thing. I don't know if that, probably other bands do it, but I just recently watched Pam and Tommy. And so, yes, like I just needed the van to do something. And I was like, the flames was a thing that, not a last minute decision, but I remember setting up. I was at the table. I got all the Pink Skulls out, the ones that I was going to use, and I just kept adding and adding and adding and adding. And then at one point, I just kind of pushed the van away, looked at the setup, and I was like, all right. It took me I'd been thinking about it for a week, and it took me I'd say about an hour to kind of set it up the way that I thought it was going to be looking. And then after that, once I set it up, I told my wife, she wanted me to go watch some murder mystery with her, and I was like, dude, can I just kind of get my table out, because I know I'm going to be up at 6 tomorrow morning, and I want to get the shot before you get up. And so she was like, yeah, all right, no problem. I said, I'm going to use the same background as I used for my Pac-Man shot, and I like that pink background. And I said, maybe I'm going to have trouble because they're contrasting the pink sky and the pink skulls. I said, who gives a fuck? It'll look great. And then once I had set up, I put everything there, and I was like, okay, now I got to protect this from the cats. So I kind of set it up, and then lo and behold, I was at 5:25, woke up, had my coffee, played a bit of Formula One, and then I was like, hey, time to set this up. Let's go. And I had my shot. I think I started shooting at 6:15, and at 8 o'clock, I was done. And shot was ready. And I was like, should I post it today or tomorrow? And then I was just kind of lost track of whatever it was. I was just having fun with it, looking. And I was like, okay, shit, this could be cool. I wanted the flames. Here goes the flames. And so it was just so exciting when I saw the finished shot. I was like, this is fucking cool.
No, yeah, you definitely captured that highway to hell spirit in that shot. And I think the flames definitely helped to add to that.
Yeah, that's it. When I added the little cotton, I was like, I need to have like a trail of something, so that at least it looks kind of like smoke. And then I was like, okay, it'll look like smoke, but then once you put that trail of like, I was like, I gotta find out of time, Back to the Future type flames that I can add to the back of it where they're just driving like crazy, So just adding the sparks and the movement and all that stuff, and so it was really fun. I remember when I sent it to Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee is always very flattering when he gives compliments, because he's a sincere individual, and he says this is the best. And I was like, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. He says, thank you for inspiring me. And I was like, fucking hell, Mr. Lee's big now, he's one of those guys that just keeps growing and growing and growing. And we're all looking at it. I was like, what the fuck is the recipe, man? How's he doing this shit? And his work is great. I love it. Like the Batman shots that came out today, and even today when the Batman laughs.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely wonderful. So I'm quite fortunate that he and I have a pretty good relationship like that. But it's fun coming from a guy whose work you respect a lot. It's just one of those things where it's like, thanks for inspiring me. And I was like, oh, I'm touched by that. Thank you so much, man.
It's those little comments that really get you and that
Yeah,
mean the most,
exactly.
right, man? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
always.
No, I mean,
So
I'm excited to see what he's gonna pull out with those. Then, if he's now inspired by you, let's see what
well,
he can
that's the
do.
other thing. That's the other thing. I was like, don't get too inspired. Overshadow my shit. But no, I'm looking forward. I really want to do that because that's it. I mean, when he was like, I remember when he did Atticus Doom, I wasn't part of that project, and I remember him messaging me after. He says, "Where's your shots?" And I was like, "I'm not on this one, man." And he was like, "What the fuck?" He says, "I really wanted to see what you had to do." And so when I posted my Craig, and then I noticed that he was also on it because we're not allowed, like they don't tell us who's working on these projects, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, there's no coordination or anything like that. It would be cool, but at the same time, they're very like talking to that guy. I'm talking to that guy. These two people don't know that we're talking to these guys. And so I remember like when we talked about the Krieg shot, those were fun. Those were fun to talk about as well once we figured it out. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that one you posted with
wonderful
all
guy.
the
He's a
Krigs
great guy.
was crazy.
That was fun. So much fun because I remember when I was talking to the guy who's on the project from Mexico, he was saying, he says, now listen, you don't have to put all 13 figures in the shot. And I just wrote back, like, challenge accepted. And so he messaged me back. This is all right, whatever. But it was one of those things where I was like, no, I got to do it. I got to at least get all 13 in one shot. And this is, if there's anybody else working on this project and they're not putting all 13 in that shot, I don't want to. If I'm the only one not putting all 13, then I'm going to look like a fucking fool.
And so you made everybody else look like a fool.
No, I think Lee put all 13. I think Nate was
Oh,
on that
did he?
project as well. I think Nate put all 13.
Mm.
Yeah.
So then you guys were all like-minded. Then you guys
Yeah,
just didn't want to be
exactly. It
left
was like
out.
exactly. We didn't want to be the odd one out. It's like, why did you only put 3 of the figures? 10 are lost in the woods.
They said I didn't need them all.
Exactly. It's like just one. Yeah.
So that's great, man. So that's great. So Comic-Con just happened, man. Lot of reveals.
Right.
Out of all the figures that we got to see, like actually in the cases, were there any of them that actually surprised you? Are there any of them that you saw that like you're like, okay, these look really good, they're gonna be coming out, or ones that you're more excited for now that you've seen them in hand?
I need to be reminded. I know that I'm really excited about Doctor Octopus.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That
Yeah.
that 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 reveal was like, I'm like, they teased him. They had already teased him.
Yeah.
But I gotta be
Yeah.
honest, like I was talking to Carl, mild mannered reporter. He's a good buddy of mine, and we talk every day. And I bought the Green Goblin, and then when I saw Doc Ock, I was like, "Fuck, they're gonna make me buy Spider Man, aren't they? God damn it!" And so I went and joined the wait list for Spider Man because I had skipped on him. I was like, I already have Far From Home Spider Man. I'm good on Spider Man, but now if they're doing all those classic ones, how can we
Yeah.
not put them together? They're gonna look so
Mhm.
good, and I'm really loving what they're doing with that classic Spider-Man line, man. So yeah, Doc Ock was the one I was like, yes. Now I'm looking forward to seeing like what he comes with and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how they go about using its tentacles, how they're gonna do that. What kind of
Yeah.
technology they're gonna use for that. Is it gonna just
hmm
be a bendy wire? Is it gonna be something newer? I'm really curious to see how they go about that.
That's the one thing that I'm like, what are they
Hmm.
gonna do with that? And are they going to be able to have him stand on them? Which I think is an important thing.
Yeah, that is,
Yeah.
especially for a higher end Doc Ock figure. That is,
That would be
that.
important to me that he's able to stand.
Ooh.
So I'm fingers crossed that's going to be a possibility. You know. So
Yeah, now that you bring it up, I never thought about that. But yeah, now that you bring it up, it's like, yeah, that would be the shot right there. Spidey right there in the foreground, Doc Ock hovering, above him on his tentacles, not having to use
yeah,
a base and stand to actually stand him up on there.
yeah. We'll see.
Just
We'll see
only
how it
time will
goes.
wait. Only time will
Yeah.
tell.
I'm hoping they don't go the too much of the bendy wire route. I'm hoping like I doubt that they can do die cast the same way like they did the Iron Man figures or something like that. But
Mhm.
it would be fun if there was a portion of it that's somewhat metallic, but
Mhm.
we'll see. The price point right now, I mean, a Goblin was at 100 or 110, I don't remember. I think Spidey
Mhm.
was 120 or 130. So Doc Ock might be more, if they go that route with the tentacles and all that stuff, he might be in the
Uh-huh.
130, 140 range.
No, yeah, definitely. He's definitely gonna be a more higher price range item with those tentacles and everything. But
Yeah.
like you said, they got you with the Goblin, Spidey, now Classic Ock. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I guess do have to spend that money now.
That's because, I mean, after that, you're like, okay, is Craven next? Is he coming? I don't have a good Craven the Hunter fucking figure. And I think that Mezco would be 100% the best to do this Craven justice. Just imagine that lion mane in the back and all that shit would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many villains that they could really do justice to, and it's just like, what's next? Like you said, so many great rogues in this gallery. It's endless possibilities for us.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so what else did they show? I don't recall.
Okay, so in terms of reveals, they showed off that Owlman, the Superman, the black suit Superman, and
Yeah, not
then
interested.
yeah, neither am I. The Silver Centurion, Iron Man, so another Iron Man. Oh, they
Yeah,
have the King Conan.
I'm getting that. He's got a beard, man. Gotta go.
You
I
gotta
saw it.
get
It was like,
him,
who had
right?
I remember it, like someone had posted it in the pages group, and I was like, well, he's got a beard, and I have a beard, therefore I have to buy King Kong. It's the only reason. They
Did you
can't
get
really
the
steal
first
that.
release?
I did. I gave it to a friend because I didn't really have any ideas for it, and
Oh, that's
then
right.
they had the newer version that was coming out, and I was like, I kind of miss having them, so I'll get that one. And so yeah, and then that one they have the one with the beard, and I was like, there's no way I'm passing up on that. It's gonna be fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like that Conan figure blew up once it came out, and then they kind of just capitalized on it by giving us that second one, and then now this third one's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, definitely excited for that one. And that one actually looks really beefed up and really good. I'm wondering what accessories he's gonna come with because that second offering came with a lot of stuff that, looks
I'm
good.
hoping for a throne, a nice chair, or some shit like that, because they went the
Oof.
dial route with Wolverine.
I was just about to say they just released that Wolverine with the dial base, so it's not out of the question. But you are going to pay
Nice.
that extra premium price for it.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. 150, 160. You got a nice chair in there that I can use with a bunch of people? Fine.
That's true. That's true. I was actually able to pick that figure up for $90,
Very cool.
but
Very,
minus the
very cool.
Sentinel base.
Yeah, still, that's a good deal. It's a really good
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Yeah,
All the other
$60
accessories.
less.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
totally,
I was like,
totally.
I,
You're
I
fine.
wasn't gonna display. I wasn't gonna display with the base anyways. It's big and chunky, and it's gonna take up a lot of space. I have
Mm.
all the accessories. I have the figure for pictures and stuff. I was like, I'm good with that. $90. Here you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still waiting for mine. I had asked Nesco to hold it for me because I was going away at my parents' place when I was getting ready to ship. And then I reached out to them to tell them I was back from vacation, and I never heard back. So hopefully they don't forget that I bought that Wolverine. Hey,
Just
Trevor,
email them
what's up,
back.
man?
Hey, what's up, 1-6? So just email them back and remind them that they still got that on hold for you.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait and see that. I messaged him on Monday, so I'm not going to be too like once we get to Monday and I haven't gotten any news. And yeah,
Sounds good. So what about the actual figures we saw on hand? Were there any that you were like, okay, now that I've seen it on hand, it looks really good. So they showed off the new Justice League pack. What are your thoughts on that one?
well, I'm not getting it.
You're not getting that one?
Nah,
What about
I'm
the
not
what
interested.
about
I don't want to own an Ezra Miller figure.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I want the Ben Affleck Batman and Superman, so unfortunately I have to get him, but he may end up on OfferUp and eBay on my end, but
Just change the head. It's like it's a different head.
exactly,
But
exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, just the thing. I mean, I didn't watch the Zack Snyder version. Maybe I could do that tonight. I just never was a fan of the overall aesthetic of the films. Anyway, I thought the stories were not good, and I wasn't a big proponent of the release the Snyder cut and all that stuff. So Ben Affleck, I feel like he was a great Batman, but his cowl was weird. So I'm not particularly much of a fan of that. I think that the action scene, I don't know if Affleck was actually the guy in the action scene I think it was Batman versus Superman, was fucking great. It was one of the best Batman action scenes ever, but like everything around it was kind of bad.
Mm,
The Snyder Cut was definitely better. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, So, but
yeah.
like, I mean, how much of it is polishing a turd? You know what I mean? So I gotta be careful.
Honestly, man, it is significantly better than what was released because you do
That's
have four
terrible.
hours. It's 4 hours, so you really have time to spend with characters like Cyborg. They really give them an actual storyline in this version. Like
Hmm.
you spend a lot of time with Cyborg in this version versus the other one. Unfortunately, you do also spend a little more time with Flash, and so you spend a little more time with all the characters in this one being a 4 hour film and stuff. But
Right.
at least you see Zack Snyder's, storyline and stuff, which I was totally going in kind of like you, kind of like, well, how much better can it be? Like you said, polishing a turd. And I ended up actually really enjoying it and liking it. And I was like surprised because the one that was released before was the most absolute trash garbage. Like Batman was not even Batman. They tried to Marvelify Batman in that movie, and it wasn't clicking. You know what I mean? When Batman's complaining that something's bleeding, it's because his vagina is bleeding, not nothing else at that point. You know what I mean? I was just that. It was so hard to watch that movie and to see that portrayal of Batman like that. I could see why Ben Affleck wanted to quit after that.
That's fair. But yeah, so nah, I'm not planning on getting that set. No, I think the one thing that I saw, like, I was happy at the height of the Predator. He looked really tall, and I was very pleased about that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to getting Predator. I like the tweaks that they made to Mr. Freeze, so now I'm regretting canceling him a little bit.
I
Especially
never was
being
able to
like,
pre-order him. I jumped in on the
God.
Mexico game late, but I'll be picking him
Mhm.
up once he's released and everything, even if I do have to pay a premium.
I was thinking about getting him. I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me that really wants a Mr. Freeze, and there's another part of me that's like, well, how much am I going to get out of it? I could take phone pics of him outside here in the winter, which would be awesome. Just like really shitty pictures of like, here's my Mr. Freeze at the skating rink. Here's my Mr. Freeze getting a slushy. But it would just be, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do with him. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
yeah. Um, Other than that, I liked what I saw of Constantine. I pre-ordered Constantine being not much of a fan,
Hmm.
but I was like, you know what? He seems like a generic enough character that I could possibly use. And eventually, if I get sick of it, I just take that head off and I put a Jim Gordon head on that. And I've got myself a Jim Gordon figure that would look pretty cool with a good looking head sculpt. And I said, okay,
Hmm.
so pick him up with that in mind, you know. But then when I saw him, I was like, that's actually a really good looking figure. I don't particularly care much for the character. I think he's a good
Hmm.
character, but I've never been a fan. But I was like, that looks cool. And he's got the smokes, he's got the lighter and all that stuff. So I mean, I was really, really pleased with what I saw, accessory wise and all that stuff. So yeah, Constantine was one that I thought looked great. The Crow looked really good. A lot of people when they saw the first images of the Crow, like they were like the head's too big, the rubber brand. I was like, that's the fucking angle. It's a render. No one's taking these pictures. Give it a break. Like
Hmm.
you can't do that. And then once we saw it at the SDCC, I was like, oh, see, fucking head's normal. Everything's fine. All right. And so he looks pretty damn good to be quite frank. And that's another thing. See, testing. The Crow's going to have some of this stuff on him as well, right? So that's why they do it on
Oh
their own
yeah.
IP first. They're testing because those ones look more durable than a lot of the pleathers they've been using in the past.
So
So that
yeah, like you
means
said.
they're working on a good premium the Crow figure. So it's going to be good.
So do you think it's gonna be just as long as of a wait as the Batman '89?
Um, Man, that's a never-ending saga, isn't it?
At least we finally saw an in-hand pic of it.
Yeah. Um, I don't know, man. Like I canceled my Batman '89 because I simply lost interest in the figure. Not that I had any gripes with the time it was taking or anything like that. I just feel like in 2 years I'm a different person now, and I don't know if I
Hmm.
actually need a Michael Keaton Batman because there's so much that has been talked about uh, of him that now everyone's going to have one, and like I'm like, what am I going to contribute to any toy photography or anything like that regarding that Batman? And once I got into that mindset, I figured, well, do I really need a Michael Keaton Batman? And sure, I mean, I can watch the movie whenever the fuck I please, but I can actually build myself a Batman that I actually want, and then just kind of
Hmm.
save a couple of bucks and maybe spend it on something else. And that's what I ended up doing. I do find it unfortunate, that's a sticking point that, we used to talk about on the Hangout, and where I kind of disagreed with a few of the takes people were having. I do feel that people are allowed to be angry at the wait time. I don't feel like I should tell them how to feel about that stuff. Right now, there are outstanding orders. There's a lot of figures that are on pre-order that haven't been released yet, and I understand the circumstances under which they are. I understand the circumstances have affected everyone and the wait time and all that stuff. So I have no qualms with waiting, but it is quite time. There's a lot of I understand the reaction a little bit. I understand why people would be unsatisfied with what's going on. Wanting a little bit more transparency, where you guys are in the process and all that stuff. And I understand that you know they don't really have to explain that stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of money involved right now. There's a lot of people who essentially bought NFTs over the last 2 years, and like pictures of products, and I feel that given the circumstances, a little bit more transparency would have probably gone a long, long, long way.
Hmm.
Now I don't know like how many cancellations that they've had. I'm probably one of many. When it comes to Batman, I'm not privy to any of that type of information. I'm pretty sure that they'll be fine. I understand that now, given the wait time, they can't fuck this one up. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure, like I've said before, that they won't make any money off this figure. This is going to be a loss, a huge loss for them financially,
Hmm.
but they'll get it out eventually. And if they get it out, they'll get it out right. I don't think that they want another John Wick situation, especially not with this one, where, after 2 years, now going on three, they want to really get this one out and not just be like, okay, well, we did our best. Like, no, this has to be the
No, you
best.
has to be, yeah.
It has to be the best you have to offer. Like Trevor says, they need to just explain what the issues are. And I mean, they've explained it.
Hmm.
I mean, when Paige talked with Mez, he explains it. Like that when it came to the materials, when it came to the body, when it came to all those types of things. COVID really fucked shit up when it comes to the way that they're able to get certain materials. Now, you never know. They might have actually had them in production, but then halfway through the production line, they had to scrap a bunch because they had to start over because the second batch wouldn't have been made of the same material. So, see, that's the type of shit that we're not privy to,
Hmm.
So was I enamored with what I saw at San Diego Comic Con with that like straight cape? I was like, they should have hired some guy to really pose that fucker because I was like,
Yeah.
that's looking like the NECA figure, and I'm like, that's not cool,
Yeah, I know
you
when I
know.
saw that, I was like, oh man, two
Yeah, you
years
got
of waiting for that.
yeah, get someone posing that cape. That was a year ago too, though. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I agree, 100% agree. That's a valid point. But that's it. So, like to me, that was one of the sticking points. Also, like when I was on the Hangout, where I was like, I can't keep telling people that like we have different priorities. That they shouldn't be angry about this stuff or anything like that. That's not my job. I'm not paid by Mezco to do PR or anything like that. And so
Hmm.
I didn't side with Mezco, and I didn't want to side with people. I'm just going to be me. I'm not
Hmm.
pissed. I'm waiting. I'm going to get my figures eventually. You know what I mean? But I do feel that the people that are having issues, that have qualms, that want explanations, kind of deserve it a little bit. And I understand Mezco's side of it, where they're like, listen, we're doing our best to stay afloat right now. And if you guys want your figures, we can't spend that much time trying to explain to you guys our entire fucking process. That means we're wasting time instead of focusing on what we need to focus, and that's getting you your figures. So it's being stuck between a rock and a hard place. I understand both sides. I just couldn't tell people, don't be angry. It's just, I couldn't do it anymore.
No, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I guess we'll get that figure sometime in the future whenever we do. It seems like maybe now that we've got an actual in-hand pick, we're maybe a little bit closer, but who knows? You know, who actually knows?
That might be the prototype they showed 3 years ago. We have no idea. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It might be the same prototype that they showed us. The same prototype.
Show something.
Yeah, the same prototype that they had at the previous San Diego 2 years prior to that, and then also the same one that they had in the shots for the promotional images or something like that. So you never know. So yeah.
Yeah, most likely. So were there any other figures that you saw that were really caught your eye, or no? I mean, they showed. Oh, they showed
Solomon Kane looked good.
Oh yeah, he did. They showed off the Nautilus crew, the Wave Rider, and stuff like that. Did you go in on those?
No, I didn't get the crew. I initially wanted to get the crew, and then after that, I was like, you know what? I don't even know how many Captain Nemo shots I have in me anymore. They're like, I'd probably take a few of them. That'd be really fun. Same one I saw at Toy Fair 3 years ago. See? Exactly. But then the Wave Rider, I have that on pre-order. And initially I was like, nah, I should cancel that. But at the same time, when I saw it, I was like, that's a good look. Why not? I've already paid for it. So yeah, I don't want to lose an NRD. The money's already gone, so I'll just wait for it to show up. It looks fun. I'll call him Canadian Nemo, and it'll be great. He's got his little fur there and all that stuff. It'll be great.
Put him right next to Canadian Winter Gomez.
Absolutely, they're gonna be chilling, man. We're gonna have them both ice fishing.
There you go. And then once you get Mr. Freeze, you could have the trio.
Oh man, that'd be
Now you
funny.
need them.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Like having him on a beach, but they want to ice fish, so they just kind of makes a pond for them or some shit. It'd be funny. Yeah. Mr. Freeze looks good. I don't know. You know, the figures that I'm actually waiting for right now are actually Felix toys. That's the updates I want. It's like, where's Joker? Where's Godfather? Man, come on! Those are the figures that I'm actually like really excited about, and I have no idea what they are.
Yeah, I know. I have the Heath Ledger Joker on pre-order as well, so I'm waiting on that one. The Godfather one looked good as well, you know, especially everything that it came with, the chair and everything was like a desk lamp and everything. It came with a lot of good stuff with it, you know, like whole diorama setup essentially.
Yeah. It's I think like Trevor probably has this one. It's actually a scaled down version from the Damn Toys version that they have of the Godfather. That was the closest I ever came to getting a 1/6 scale figure. Was when I saw those Damn Toys Godfathers. I was like, whoa, that is cool. But I did not want to open Pandora's box, man.
Yeah,
it would be really cool.
As you can
Did
see
you guys
behind
get the
me,
Eradicator for it? No, I'm trying to limit myself with what I can buy, and seeing as that I had just gotten the skulls, and I had pre-ordered Spider-Man, I was like, oh, I can't really kind of go in on that one, so I decided to pass. So I have my Krieg 13 -1.
well, he's kind of like a bonus because he kind of like kills the Murder Hornet and becomes one. So it's kind of like a bonus, you know. I think that's the great thing about that exclusive. It's not really necessary.
Right. Trevor, please don't do that. No.
Trevor,
what's a good price in Canadian? But hey, Trevor, I owe you money, man. You sent me both spots. I have to work on it. Tell me how much I owe you. Message me later. But he got me the Super 7 spots. I had them, like, I wanted them for a birthday present for a buddy of mine. He was supposed to only send me one, but he ended up sending me two. But I only paid for one. So I'm like, why did he send me both? I got them, like, I think a couple of days ago. I was like, yeah, that's great. But anyway, so I'll talk to Trevor later. So those are the ones I'm waiting for.
Box, though.
I can't 1/6. I can't do that.
As you can see, I opened it and
they look too good, man. That Spider-Man is fucking killer, and I'm just like, no.
Hide them.
Yeah, like Mando's one that I've been like 1/6 looks amazing. But yeah,
Let's see.
don't do
Right
that.
here.
Don't do that. Oh man, look at that. So
I
good,
picked it,
so
and I
good.
picked him up by accident too. Like I wasn't even intending to pick him up, but I messaged this guy looking at his Mythos Boba Fett, and it was a decent price, but it wasn't a price that I was happy with. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I'll pass. And he's like, but if you pick up Mando too, I'll do it for this price. And it was actually a really good price. I think I paid maybe 360 for the two, Boba Fett and Mando. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
And I was like, I'll take
that's the
it.
thing, man. I show up with that. My girlfriend's like, these are no longer toys, these are dolls. So now it's getting creepy. You gotta be careful.
No, I get that, man. But yeah, I saw him and I was just like, man, I cannot not pick this up. And then I recently just picked up Django Fett right here.
Yeah, it
And
looks great.
oh man, dude, I had to. This guy's my favorite. I was just like, oh, he was a pricey one, but
So good.
ooh, he just looks
Yeah,
fucking fantastic, bro.
looks great.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely Pandora's box. I call it a black hole, not even a rabbit hole or anything, because it sucks you the fuck in, bro.
Uh,
It sucks you in. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, I have a little bit of extra cash right here. I think that hot toy I was looking at looks pretty good right here.
that's it. Tomorrow I'm going to buy Crocmaster. I have it set aside at a store, and I know he has classic Damn Toys Godfather. He doesn't have Old Man Vito Corleone, which is the one I really like. If you guys like, wait till you start buying hair products for your rooted hair figures. There you go. Nah, I'm not even buying it. See, this is the funny thing. I wanna address this with Trevor. I says, Trevor, I want you to read the sentence you did that. Now, would you ever do that for yourself? Because I wouldn't. You know, I'm comfortable with my hair loss. And I know that Trevor has the same fucking haircut as me, but he's buying hair plugs for his toys.
He doesn't care if he doesn't have hair, as long as
Guys,
his
like,
toys have
fuck my
hair.
hair. I need my, this is where they need hair.
Now we know why he's bald.
And I hope
We're
that
just
he doesn't
messing.
take that poorly. Exactly. Please,
Yeah,
we're
we're just
just
messing
joking
Trevor.
around, man. We're
We're
just
just
joking
kidding. Yeah.
around. No.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember,
his collection is
I was
phenomenal.
doing a live with Trevor, and he says, "Hold on, I'll go get my cat." And I was like, "Come on, man, you don't have to. Let's
You're
go."
amongst friends here.
Exactly. I don't need to know why I bought Pixie Starter friends.
Oh man, that's
Pixie
funny.
styling jumper. That's even funnier. Yeah, it's like it's because I'm hairstyling my fingers. It's really cool. Oh, I love that. So
Oh
good.
man.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
it. So I know they have that damn toys Godfather at the store I'm going to tomorrow. I don't know how much he is, but I know that I'm gonna look at it and be like, yeah, it's so close.
here's my credit card. Leave
I
them
need a
all at
new
home.
I need a new computer. Yeah. Anyway, plus I have some familial developments on the way as well, so I need to save my money.
That's
Yeah,
usually how it goes, right? Life gets in the way. You gotta prioritize that first, anyways, right?
yeah, absolutely. So you gotta be careful. Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. This can become a very dangerous and expensive hobby really quickly, especially when you're doing hot toys and mezcos and stuff like that, you know?
So fast, but that's why they call it. Like right now, we're living really in the golden age of this shit, and it's really great because, I mean, if you look at toy companies, they're laughing their way to the bank. I mean, they created us. They created us like we're monsters. Where like I
Mm-hmm.
remember like I'm the first or like part of the first generation that grew up with action figures. I was born in 1980. I mean, action figures weren't a thing before 77. Before Star Wars and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. So like my dad didn't have fucking action figures. They probably had like Raggedy Andy and Raggedy Ann dolls and stuff like that, which is all
Mm-hmm.
right. Barbie was around and all that stuff, but guys, there's like they're playing with Tonka trucks and whatnot, metal ones, not the plastic shit they have now. But action figures, before GI Joe, like, and so right
Yeah.
now we're all adults and we all have jobs, we all have money, and so they're like, hey, remember this shit
Remember?
you used to like when you were a kid, back when things were so much easier?
Uh-huh.
How about
Well,
you
here
treat
it is.
yourself to something you miss? GI Joe, exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, He-Man, and oh man, it's just yeah, it's so good.
No, yeah, it's
It's
everything
just it's
right now.
hard.
Literally everything. Yeah, literally, like you said, it's the golden age. Not only are we getting everything from our childhood, but we're getting such amazing versions of them. You know, the articulation's upgraded, the
Yep.
size, the detailing, the paint apps, everything's upgraded. It's no longer a 5 point action figure like the Turtles and stuff like that. And Star Wars figures, you have 6 inch, and it's just like you said, they're laughing their way to the bank. They know how to get us.
Yeah. And it's not the squeezing the legs when you have that fucking punch that goes like this. Yeah, it's just oh man. Yeah, so many really cool figures now too. You can get them to do what they want, you know. That's it's crazy.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, man. Well, I mean, we've basically been on for about 2 hours at this point. So thank you
yeah,
so
but it's
much for
always
coming
fun.
back on. Yeah,
Absolutely.
man.
Like I said, anytime it's always good.
Yeah, man. I mean, we had a great conversation. Thank you so much. Like I said, you were technically the first guest. I'm sorry it's taken this long to get you back on. I promise you it
Oh
won't be
man,
that long to get you back on once again. I think I'm
sounds
starting
good.
to run out of new toy people to talk to in the community. Anyways, I've kind of made my way through everybody almost at this point. So I'm starting to swing back around to some of the people I've had on and stuff. And so
Yeah,
you're
talk
definitely
to
on that
Trevor.
list.
Talk to Trevor. Bring him on to talk about like the
He
pixie stuff and all that.
he's been
Pixie
on a few
styling
times
thing.
actually. He's
Oh,
been on a
okay.
few times. Yeah, he actually saved me because the week after he came on, my guest kind of like mixed up the times, so he was late. So he came on and saved me and came on, back to back weeks and stuff. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
He's a
Trevor's
much better
awesome.
guy than I am. I was just constantly like, what? Who? What am I doing this week? Yeah, so that's it. No, it was fun. Like even this week, like a couple of weeks ago, I got a message from I don't know who, some person putting an article together about the recent boom in like miniatures. You know, people have like apparently
Mm,
like miniatures are huge right now. People are going back to building dioramas. Like toy photography is big and all that stuff. And
mm-hmm.
so, um, yeah, so they asked me if I'd answer a couple of questions for them. So I had like I'm going to be part of a pretty detailed article that's going to be hitting the internet soon. So it was kind of interesting. So I'll be sure to share that with you once I get it. It was it's a fun one. I
Oh
don't.
yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Great. That's nice, man. That's great.
Yep. So that's
So
it.
before
Other
we
than
go,
that,
anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to say? Any new shots you're working on?
Iron Giant is next. Uh, I have a couple in mind that I really wanted to do because I love the character so much. Um, I'm not going to say what it is because I think it's an idea that I haven't seen. And if I talk about it, then people will be like, oh, yeah, I have to do that. So I don't want that to happen. So yeah, I have that that we're working on. It's going to be Iron Giant. I do want to do the skulls again, but I got to be honest. I mean, right now we're in the middle of looking for a house. We're going to be, and I don't normally share this type of information, but we're I'm expecting a new little baby girl,
Oh,
which
congrats,
is
man.
yeah,
Congrats.
thanks. It's yeah, so we're not close to the end, it's due in December, but it's
It's
really
getting there.
happy. Yeah, it's gonna be here fast. So I got a lot of personal things to attend to, not only like with school and all that stuff. So I'm gonna try to thanks. I'm gonna try to stay offline a little bit. Spend a little bit more time with the girls that I already have, making sure Leslie's all right and all that stuff. Trying to tolerate the cats a little bit more. I don't know, and then yeah. So I'm not planning too far ahead. I'm looking forward to Wolverine. I have a shot in mind that I want to do. Thanks. With him and another character that I haven't seen people put together yet. So I think it's kind of fun. So I'm working on ideas regarding those things, but I wanna just kind of keep them under wraps. I haven't fleshed out the ideas yet. The one with the Iron Giant, I know exactly what I want to do. I just got to figure out the setting that I want to put him in. And my wife is actually heading out of town on Saturday and Sunday. She's going with her mom. They're going camping, and so I was like, Iron Giant time. It's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna be doing that. It'll be cool.
Sounds good, man. Sounds like you have a
Wait,
fun
you
weekend planned
planning
up ahead of
anything?
you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm always planning something. I don't know about you, but I have a long list of sticky notes and notebooks full of ideas that I can always just turn to and look at. I think the next thing I'm gonna do, like I said, I recently got some toys in from Diamond Select to, review and shoot. So I kind of want to do something with that, kind of like, kind of integrate that. But I was thinking maybe either because I got the new Marvel Select Titanium Man, so it's like a larger figure and stuff like that. So I was thinking either having him be chasing or fighting Hawk P40 or the skulls. Like they're all like climbing on him and trying to like bang on his skull and stuff like that. And he has one in
Right.
his hand. I don't know. I'm just throwing around ideas, but that's kind of like the next one I'm going to be working on. And then I'm
Cool.
actually thinking about doing kind of like how I have them on these bikes. Well, McFarlane's been kind of releasing a few different ones. They have one that's kind of like a skeleton bike and one that's kind of like more of a futuristic one. And so I'm thinking of doing like kind of like a Mezco Rumble Society bike meet where they're going to be like kind of like a like a car meet where they're showing
Ah,
off the
great idea.
bikes.
Yeah,
So
1950s, like a rebel without a cause type thing.
exactly. So I'll have like Doc Knock on the skull bike. I'll have Hawk P40 on like the
Yeah.
futuristic bike. The skulls
Absolutely.
on this one right here. You know what I mean? And then so I have a few different ideas like that. So yeah, different stuff I'll be working on. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
just follow me over at Epic Shots by
I
Cool
will,
Figures,
man.
and
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I have
that's
no
where I'll be
idea.
posting it.
Cool.
Yeah, I know it gets lost in the shuffle, especially when you have like one big main page. Everybody just goes to that one and stuff, and then but yeah, that's where I post all my other shots. So glad
Yeah.
to see you there. Hope you like what you
Cool.
see, and once again, thank you, man, for coming on. Hope to see your Iron Giant shot very soon. I am a big
Yeah.
fan of that movie as well, so
That's
I'm
so
always
good.
excited to see that movie get some love in the toy community.
Yeah, it'd be fun. All right, everybody. So make sure you go subscribe to my OnlyFans. I'm kidding. I don't have that. Just joking.
He needs the money now. He's having another kid.
Exactly. Just
He needs some
Photoshop
new
pictures of
toys.
me. Just Photoshop pictures of me with hair.
$50 a month, guys.
All right.
All right, man.
Cool,
Thank you so
man.
much for coming on again. Have a great rest of your
Absolutely.
week. Have
You
fun
too.
shooting that shot. And once again, congrats on your new edition, man.
Thanks. Thanks, Jesse. It was really a pleasure. Thanks, man. Take
All right,
care.
man.
Talk
Can't
soon.
wait to talk to you again. Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Talk soon. Bye, bye.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 26 of Coffee and Toys Live. And thank you so much to returning guest Jason B. Michael. If you happen to miss the first part, he was the first ever guest that I had here on Coffee and Toys Live. And it's crazy to think that we're here now at episode 26 because when I think back to that first episode, I was so fucking nervous. I had to have I think I drank like 2 beers before because I was so nervous. Not just because I was going live, but because I was talking to Jason. At that time, he was the highest, follower count person that I've been talking to. But something that I've come to know and that I've come to appreciate in this community is that despite anybody's follower count here, they're just a normal, humble person that's having just as much fun playing with toys as any of us are. So once again, thank you so much to Jason B. Michael for coming back onto the show. Congratulations on your newest edition, and I look forward to seeing that Iron Giant shot and any other Pink Skull shots you have, and you can squeeze in before that next semester. So with that being said, guys, come back next week for episode 27, where I will have figure fan Nate. He was actually here in the live earlier on. I don't know if he's still here, but he will be on next week, so we will be talking to him. Super excited about that. So yeah, guys, with that being said, go ahead and follow me here on Instagram at CoolFigurez. I also have a separate Instagram account called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez, where I post my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics. And also subscribe to me on YouTube if you haven't already. I am super close to 1,000 followers, guys. 1K. We are right there. I think maybe 18 subscribers away. Super excited about that. So thank you for all the support on that as well if you already have subscribed. I have recently started a Patreon for the Cool Figures page, so if you can and are in the position to support the channel and you want to, please check out my Patreon link in my bio. I really appreciate it. Thank you in advance for any and all support. And with that being said, guys, like I said, join me next week for episode 27 with Figure Fan Nate. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me tonight. As always, I've been your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. And as always, have a great fucking day.
Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. And I do also have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Check it out. If you like what you see, leave me a follow there as well. And if you guys like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. That's where I post all of my unboxings. And check me out every Sunday for Coffee and Toys, a weekly Toy News Toy Talk podcast where we will go over all the latest and great toy news, reveals, pre-orders, weekly toy haul, and so much more. And join me every Wednesday over on Instagram for Coffee and Toys Live, where I will speak to a new guest every week about toys, toy hunting, toy photography, and so much more. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really do appreciate it.